Is the Group 2 Stan Fox Stakes. The ratings, first of all, they favour Force Apollo to win this race, ahead of Choisir and Rare Insight, and then Tom Carews. 2 from 1 and 10, and then number 3. Early check of the betting market looks this way. Not much between Choisir and Force Apollo. There's some mail around for Tom Carews.
1400 metres out, and I think that's number 10, Rare Insight, one of the 2 John Hawkes trained runners. She's the only filly in the race, and she's been racing very well throughout her career, only very lightly raced.
With the filly Rare Insight and Tom Carews, the early leader, taken on and headed by Pendulum, and Force Apollo going swiftly, followed closely by Dial Tone. Choisir is going to be caught wide out, and then Dane Supply, followed by Choisir. No luck early, very wide, followed by Force Apollo, and over on the inside of it is Dial Tones. If you say so, Dane Supply, Prince Dane, Magic Marvo. Rare Insight is last as they come down to the 700, and Choisir. Boss pressed on, otherwise he was going to be in no man's land. And to the 600, Choisir opens up a length and a half, Pendulum and Tom Carews. 2 lengths to Force Apollo, followed by Dial Tones. If you say so, Dane Supply wide. Magic Marvo in the middle. Prince Dane tucked away, and Rare Insight quietly ridden at the rear. Choisir swings in the Stan Fox, a length and a half. Tom Carews followed by Pendulum, Force Apollo, and a length further back as If You Say So, and Rare Insight is trying to weave clear, but Choisir pinches a break. At the 200, Choisir, 2 Rare Insight seeing daylight, and the filly is going after Choisir very quickly. It's Rare Insight pegging back Choisir, stride by stride. Rare Insight gets Choisir. Magic Marvo late, but it's Rare Insight. The filly has beaten the Colts and Geldings. Rare Insight from a photo, Magic Marvo, and the weakening Choisir from Dial Tones in company with Dane Supply, Force Apollo, Tom Carews. Rare Insight by O'Reilly has now had the 6 starts for 3 wins, a second and a third, and Darren Beedman knew what he was doing. He was quite content to sit back.
Now, Choisir was an improved run yesterday. They tried the pacifiers on him and new tactics going to the front.
In the line. There's a big race in him. I tell you what, get him sorted out. He didn't want to go to the front yesterday. He just had to go to the front, otherwise he was going to get trapped 3 and 4 deep. So he went to the front, and I tell you what, when he skipped away, I thought, here is a very, very good horse. But I still think he's a very good horse. He got you know, run down by a couple who'd had soft runs at the back of the field, and he'd had a hard run in front. Into the wind, mind you. I mean, there was a big headwind to those horses from the 1,000 metres onwards until they straightened up. And he's done all the work into that. And I just think he's a very, very good horse, Choisir. There's a big race in him.
Do you think he'll win a Caulfield? Well, that'll be his plan, I'd say.
Hey, Ron. The George Main Stakes for this afternoon. The ratings fancying on top Sunline, and clearly so, by 2.5 lengths from Lonhro, Defier and Accelerator. 6, 4, 2 and 5. Let's see how the betting goes, though. It's Sunline the fancy ahead of Lonhro, then to Defier. Shogun Lodge is the next pick. Accelerator at $23. Jim Cass. Take a look at that. A gigantic George Main Stakes Day crowd, all to watch this incredible match race being dubbed as a mini Cox Plate. Lonhro, Sunline, Defier to take on the old stager, Shogun Lodge, or perhaps Accelerator or Hey Pronto at long odds. Wow, what an exciting race awaits in the countdown to this mini Cox Plate.
George Main and Sunline bounce straight into the lead, and she's a length and a half to fire. Third a length away is Lonhro, followed by Shogun Lodge. A length and a half to the stablemates, Hey Pronto inside Accelerator. They race down the back of the course, and nothing's worrying Sunline, and she's coming along towards the halfway mark, and Sunline getting things made to order for her. And Sunline, she's out by 2 lengths to fire as Greg Charles quickens marginally. 2 lengths to Lonhro on the inside of Shogun Lodge, and then Hey Pronto and Accelerator. The crowd here at Randwick are starting to really pep up. They can see Sunline well clear. She's 2 lengths to fire on the corner. A length and a half to Lonhro. Shogun Lodge, wider Accelerator. Hey Pronto last. Around the turn and up the rise in the George Main. And Sunline taken on by Defier. Lonhro pocketed. Accelerator running a mighty race. So too Shogun Lodge at the 200 now. Sunline grabbed by Defier. Accelerator the outside, but it's Defier. He's gritty. He's game. He's holding Accelerator, and Defier, what a horse. Defier wins the George Main from Accelerator. Third Sunline, fourth Lonhro, then Shogun Lodge and Hey Pronto. Number 2, Defier. He doesn't know the meaning of defeat. He is game as they come, and sitting into an awkward position in the straight. Quinella, $42.
Oh, wow. Trifecta has paid 195.30. First 4 to be confirmed. The team behind Defier go crazy and accelerate an enormous race. Defier 6...
He took the race right up to it.
Yeah, my word, I was worried because he was up close and no cover, and it's not the way he's normally ridden, as you know. But he's proved what a great adaptable horse he is, apart from all his other qualities, you know. Tremendous.
He showed a whole new dimension today in his racing style.
Found so much when
It's good to know that.
Yes, my word. He's such an adaptable horse and great horse.
Now, Accelerator closed.
It allowed me to be up running second. I suppose everybody thought I'd get back a little bit further, but when I went that slow, I took a bit of initiative and went forward, and he just relaxed so well, the horse. He's sitting off Sunline like that, and like I said, I knew Darren was there, and I tried to keep him there as long as I could, and at the furlong I knew that my horse would have the better sprint of the three of them anyway.
Just keep stepping up to the plate.
Well, he does. Yeah, he does. He's just come back so much better this preparation, and you know, who knows what he could go on to. He's just a nice galloper.
He's simply up.
He just does everything. Chris Muntz, 10 out of 10. Accelerator's run was terrific as far as an Epsom's point of view goes next week. He meets him 3.5 kilos better. Lonro, I don't think we'll really ever know if he would have won or not. But Richard Defier, he seemed to adapt to that slow speed. I remember you saying that he only looks good when he gets the fast speed on.
Trying to be clever there, Ronnie?
No.
Because
No, he's making a fair point.
No, I said Defier may only be great off the back of a good speed, but I have to say yesterday, slow speed, and Defier did finish off the race well. I think Defier's a terrific horse, but I think he's the right horse in the right place at the right time, because Sunline is just off her best, I think, and Shogun Lodge, he seems to be a light of other days, and Lonro never got a crack at him, so we'll never know if he would have tested Defier.
We'll come back and have a look at that low-angle shot, because he...
You know, they went slow early, sort of got a little bit keen, but I was surprised how good I travelled when I seen Charles. He sort of looked round about the 700 and thought he was going to quicken the tempo, and once I got up outside Shogun Lodge, he had long row inside him, so it was going to be hard for them from there in, and I sort of went to Defier pretty easy. It surprised me how easy I went to him, and I mean to say he's a good horse, but he took a bit of fighting off, so happy with my bloke going in depth.
And round the turn, she would normally put a break between them. But Defier, who's, you know, fairly seasoned and ready, he wouldn't let me get away from him and sort of collared me pretty early up, or halfway down the straight. But when you look at Sunline in the Mountain Yard, she's still got that little bit of hairy coat, and she just wasn't conditioned hard, race fit to run the strong mile at Group 1 level. But she's on target, and that's a quote. She's on target for the Cox Plate, and I'm looking forward to coming down to Melbourne.
You know, from the time I jumped, from the 1400 metre mark, that's why I sort of well back off Sunline, because I thought if I go like third on the fence behind Sunline, you're just a sitting duck to get boxed in, and that's why I sort of backed a fair bit to try and sort of manoeuvre my way out. But when there was a run, top on the rise, I sort of had to go for it, and then I got squeezed out of it. Now I've no doubts Fox would have won. Great horse.
Yeah, he ran quite well, Joey.
Yeah, they just went way too slow.
But Darren Beedman's still fuming this morning. He said on Melbourne radio this morning that one or two of the other riders were riding against him, and that he didn't think it was right that another jockey could take the run that he had established. He is still fuming.
Yes, he considers that Lonro was very, very...
Get some handicap at Randwick and he'll take some beating.
Well, with a bit of speed on, he'll take some beating, Joe. You know, but he's going to have competition. It's a handicap, and luck plays a big part in these big miles at Randwick. You know, you've got horses like Accelerator there, and there'll be some new horses on the scene. So barriers and luck in running will take play a big part in the Epsom.
Just getting back to Lonro, there's nothing much Darren could really have done in the run. I mean, he was over on the fence, Sunline on its inside, just pinged and went straight to the lead.
Well, he jumped
Let's have a look at this race here. Now, there's a gap there, isn't there?
There is a bit of a gap, but he didn't get there quickly enough, and Defier got there before he did, and it closed the gate, and that put the horse off balance. He had to go back. He tried for an inside run again now, trying to get inside Sunline, but she doesn't wobble away from the fence much, so there was never going to be enough room there either. But the damage was done when he jumped out of the gates. Where was he going to go? Was he going to... He ended up in the place he was. There was no way of getting out wide. So I really can't... I can't bag... I'd love to bag Darren, you know that. He's a good mate of mine. I'd love to give him a bagging, but I can't give him a bagging on this ride. Now, Ronnie, you've carved plenty of them up in your time as a jockey.
No,
you ought to know.
I don't think he could have done much about it either, Richard, really. When Shogun Lodge went forward... Darren just had... It was no use getting into a bumping deal with him so early in the race. So you've got to forgive him that run. Who knows, you know, people are saying he didn't finish off that last 100 metres, but how can you when they're sprinting home so quick? A horse like him didn't get balanced at all, so we'll never know if he run. I wish they'd run him in the Epsom.
Yeah, and they're sprinting home at a time when he's looking for the...
It was a severe reprimand. And also Joe, writing off Sunline, I think that's premature. She hadn't raced for 5 weeks, and she'll improve. She's failed second up before.
Hey, listen, this is beautiful, isn't it? When she first had a first run back, and I said, look, the sun will be setting on her career, everyone gave it to me. Everyone said it was a spoiler and a narc and all that. Well, now you're all sitting up here like the backdash of a Valiant, all nodding, like, you know, agreeing with me that Sunline's in the twilight of her career.
Okay, well, we had a...
Number 4, ahead of Kingsgate, Moa Man and Salgado, 4 from 2, 3 and 6. Well, John Hawkes will have... quite a few chances in this race, including Moa Man, Gabfest. He also sends Salgado around. He has 3 chances. There's the market for you. This man should at $11. Jimmy Cassidy gave a strong...
Darren would have been very disappointed. He was totally the victim of circumstances on Lonhro. And by the time the horse got clear at about the 70... It was a lovely start. Immediately, Cheverny goes back to last. And Phoenix Park straight to the lead from This Man Should. Terrible Tourist, Moa Man improving, followed closely by Kingsgate, Salgado. 9.50 to run now. Moa Man and Phoenix Park level pegging. Length and a half to Kingsgate wide. Terrible Tourist, the middle defence, This Man Should. No Luck Brown on Salgado, then Little Dozer, followed by Raymond. Gabfest is next, racing between Swiss Echo and Red Hannigan, then Galliano. Paris Heartbeat, a length Cheverny and Zabara, 2 lengths Gillespie. They work their way past the 600 marker, and Moa Man just leads Kingsgate. In 3rd position is Phoenix Park as they travel to the corner between the leaders. Salgado doing it hard and tough from This Man Should, and then Raymond, Little Dozer, and then Red Hannigan, and the favourite Gabfest is midfield and badly in need of a run. Well in the straight and up the rise. Kingsgate and Phoenix Park drop Moa Man, and then comes This Man Should, Salgado, and Swiss Echo down the outside, and Gabfest is seeing daylight now. Phoenix Park, This Man Should, and here's Swiss Echo and Zabara. Zabara will blow them away. What a win, Zabara, from This Man Should and Swiss Echo. Gabfest, Red Hannigan, Paris Heartbeat and Kingsgate. Salgado, Galliano, Phoenix Park, and then Gillespie, followed by Cheverny. Little Dozer, followed by Terrible Taurus, and the last couple in were Raymond and Moa Man. That was an outstanding win.
Harris's mail, didn't it storm home? I thought This Man Should might have it for a moment, but 13, 12 and 10. And Molly Truscott, of course, racing Vandara, who was placed in a...
Chance now, Salgado.
Runners put on for a horse like Zabara. He's always been very, very promising. Whether he can win an Epsom, I'm not so sure. But he gets in with a lightweight. He's peaking at the right time, and he'll run a commendable race.
Ron, This Man Should continues to run.
Still, the octagonal filly, riding ahead of Micah's Pride, Lai, Moon and Gwendolyn, 1, 2, 9 and 3. There's plenty of potential on show here. Heptonstall first up, Micah's Pride. Robert Thompson and Les Bridge combined to go back-to-back in stakes company. Celestia, a last start, $16. Point AFL Grand Final victory over the Collingwood Magpies, 10-15-75 to 9-12-66. Correct weight is there on the AFL Grand Final. We're looking for a winner in the last at Randwick. What's been an amazing...
They're off. And they've broken a good line at the end of 50 metres. By golly, Lai. 100 Lai Moon to Zetterside. Head to Heptonstall, 2.5 Provokes, 1 Micah's Pride, 1.5 Quest for Success, Similar Gap, I'm in Heaven, then Gwendolyn, about 3 Celestia inside, Rock and Rose, and 2 to Bravisa and Shana. They're on the corner in the last here at Randwick, and Lai Moon's gone very quickly from the start. A length and a half, Heptonstall, close enough if good enough. Zetterside is 3rd, Provokes 4th, then Micah's Pride, and making a run is Gwendolyn. They come over the rise at the 350, and Beedman calls on Heptonstall. She pegged back Lai Moon, but Gwendolyn's a decided danger, and then Quest for Success, Provokes and Zetterside. Gwendolyn put the body in front now from Heptonstall, and Gwendolyn out in the centre clear. Provokes battles on, but it's Gwendolyn beating Provokes, Quest for Success, and Heptonstall from Celestia. Shana, I'm in Heaven, Rock and Rose, and Micah's Pride. Number 3's won the final event of the day, Gwendolyn. And Gwendolyn, Daddy Nikolic, 23.30. Oh boy, the bookies really would be counting their cash today. We've had...
to the winner's circle. Second up from us.
Gwendolyn, as was the case yesterday, where they're getting up at a pretty big price, but admittedly she didn't have much luck last start.
No, but she's not one of mine. She's hard to catch. Bobs up when you least expect it.
I don't think Ron's too impressed here.
No, she just does that to you. You know, she'll get you in on a run, and then she'll start favourite and get beat, and then the wraps go off her, and she gets back out to 20 to 1, and she does something like this. The top two are disappointing here, Hepton Stall and Micah's Pride. They're only little men.
Fancied horse in New Zealand, and then Caulfield 2 and 13 from 4 and 5. Can tell you on Tuesday this week, Sent Home was found to be a little sore, and apparently has overcome those problems. Was the early pre-post favourite for this race until that happened on Tuesday morning. Let's look ahead to round.
The favourite has drawn 1, Hale. Previous winner Sent Home, Towie in 2. Line looks pretty well right. Racing in the Celt, Sent Home reared as the gates were opened. Lost a length or two. Carpion drops back as to then does Hill of Grace. Now in the centre of the line, Reign Supreme began quickly. Here they come. Trousters going up as to Hello Dolly. Real Vision the inside, and Green Street and Man in Black from out wide. A firing at the 800, and still Green Street an 8 neat length in front. Armstrong is second. Man in Black is getting a beautiful run. Trounce next to Hello Dolly, about to go forward at the 600 metres. Hale onto her back, Sent Home in the centre, right with them as well. Then Real Vision as they pack up in the Celt. Distinctly Secret is taking off back behind these. Prize Gem, Hill of Grace, Carpion, Carpstad Way, and Conquest Star last as Armstrong took over, turning in. Hello Dolly is after him over on the outside. Armstrong the inside, Hello Dolly on the outside, and now we've got Getting Home Well as Hale. Distinctly Secret right down the outside, and Prize Gem is starting to dash through. On the outside, Distinctly Secret, Prize Gem and Michael Rod absolutely flying on the inside, and she'll win the count. Prize Gem got it. Distinctly Secret has run second. Hale third. Hill of Grace running home strongly. Armstrong, Hello Dolly, Man in Black Sent Home behind them. Reign Supreme, Carpstad Way, and then Real Vision, Carpion, Conquest.
Half the odds it was in New Zealand. Prize Gem for Michael Rod. No surprises to see it start shorter here. The prized horse, which was successful in the Brisbane Cup back in June. Second up from a spell, winning the Group 1 Celt Capital Stakes. Its second Group 1 win. 15, 11 and 4.
He went out 3 wide, and I was able to slip up the inside of him, and he sort of had to go around, and where I saved all the energy and went up in between them all, and it shows on the line.
Yeah, she's got something. She's got a real ticker, Prize Gem. She's headed over our way. It looks as though she's going to perform very well. It's extraordinary for young Michael Rod to see what he's done in the space of 4 months. That's his second Group 1. I think he's just turned 21, Ron. I know you've got an opinion of him.
Oh, I think he's got a huge future, this kid. You know, look at the patience he shows here. He says, I followed. He knew his danger was Distinctly Secret. He just showed patience here. Instead of peeling out with him, he says, well, I'll ride for luck now. And obviously the luck come and made him look good. But no, I really like this kid. I think he's got a big future.
He's got a couple of little style things that could be improved, but I tell you what, he's got the head, and that's the thing you can't improve. You either got that or you haven't. You either got the brain for it or you haven't, and he's got it. And when his style just tightens up a little bit, and he gets it corrects a few little things he's got in his action there, I reckon he is a star of the future.
Probably a little bit awkward for him. That'll be
year after.
Yeah, just give him a good look at the track. Corey, you seem to be fairly aggressive out of the gates on him at Caulfield. Did he handle the track that well?
He seemed to get around all right, Alf. He was on the right leg pretty much tonight. And for the Bill Stud Stakes, here's Greg Miles.
They're all in, set to run. Half Hennessy in gate number 2 is the favoured runner. And attendant getting with Ain't Here is shifting around on the gates. General Minolta also bouncing about. Helena stood well. All clear, racing, and Half Hennessy seemed to jump up at the start. He's missed it slightly. He settles towards the end. Rust, one of the first to bounce out, leading in the early part from Helenas. Ain't Here. Cool Trent is next, and Half Hennessy sticking to the inside. They're followed by General Minolta and Rohathan drops stern, and Rust the leader. General Minolta 3/4 of a length away. Ain't Here third on the inside. Helenas trapped out again. He's been over racing. He's doing nothing right tonight. A length further back is Cool Trent, followed by Half Hennessy, awkwardly placed after a poor beginning. And last is Roehampton up the side of the course at the 700. And Rust, who backed the tempo off, led by 3/4 of a length. General Minolta Ain't Here's had a cosy run in the lime colours behind the leader, but he's badly held up. Helenas is wide, and here's Roehampton with a run round the outside. Half Hennessy's trying to work into the clear, and the Cool Trent is now back last as they sweep up towards the turn. General Minolta hit the lead to Rust. Helenas is racing to them quickly on the outside though, and he's hit the front now. Ain't Here is next, and they're followed by Half Hennessy, who needs a giant burst, but Helenas is away. He's done nothing right, but he leads by 3 lengths into the straight from Ain't Here, and running on down the outside is Roehampton, but it's all Helenas. He's racing right away. A stunning victory. Helenas, a brilliant winner over Ain't Here. Half Hennessy got up for third, and then Roehampton, Cool Trent and General Minolta with the early leader Rust last of all.
Okay, outstanding win by Helenas, number 10. 10-7-1. We would have loved to have given you more of the colour of the race. I can't believe we had so many.
And of course, that was the Bill Stud Stakes at Moonee Valley on Friday night. Stephen King aboard, and Leon Corsten's the trainer.
He's a very good trainer, Leon. And that little horse is doing everything right. Bit shifty the track on Friday night. Not as bad as they thought it would be, but he did very well, this little horse. Didn't do much right in the run. Nothing much went right for him, but it was too good for them in the end.
Half Hennessy's been a bit disappointing since going to Melbourne Way.
I think that was his first run on a rain-affected track, Joe, so he's stuck on it right. He had no luck at Caulfield first up. He seemed to be on the wrong leg, and he ran a lot better race at his second Melbourne run, so I wouldn't be sacking him on this run.
But he's always shown staying potential, Helenas. Wayne?
Yeah, well, I think especially at Moonee Valley, the right horse in the right place at the right time wins, and Stevie King summed up the situation pretty well there, and he had the race.
Look at the way he sticks his head out. That's why he's got the nose roll on, to try and keep his head a little bit lower. But he gets his nose right up. Helenas got a sort of a funny action. He's quite pretty to watch, but it's a bad.
Running the 2 is the one lashed. This very promising Graham Rogerson prepared galloper ahead of Millanova. So 2, 7, 3 and number 5. Fuji Dancer, one of the equal third raters. Market looks this way. Innovation Girl apparently out due to the wide alley. Lashed is the firm elect ahead of La Bella Dame, then Fuji Dancer. One of the highlight races on the Flemington card today. Cocktail Evening with the important gear. Late scratchings come through in the last race today, race 9, number 10 Auckland Blues, which was the one on top of our sky.
Recently slow from the outside, lashed up reasonably. She's second or third last, and it's Tequila Nottage going to the lead through the first 200 metres, leading by a half-length. Coupe is second, 2 to the rails, followed by Nulotra. A length and a half for the back. It's Houdini on the inside, Millanova the centre. Make Me Strong is 3 wide, and they're trailed a length away then by La Bella Dame as they sweep up towards the 600 metre mark. Tarcoola Diamonds off and running very wide, and then Centre Romance well back, being followed then by Fuji Dancer and Lash towards the tail, and Bay Ivy. They've bunched as they come around the home turn in the manifold now, and Coupe moved up level with Tequila Knowledge. On their outside is Ribe and La Bella Dame coming 4 wide. Cocktail Evening right behind them with Nulotra, who's getting a run through, and then Make Me Strong. Tarcoola Diamond and Lashed is starting to work home, followed by Millanova. Coupe shot to the lead at the 250. La Bella Dame goes with her. They're racing very tight together. Lashed is next, and then came Fuji Dancer down the outside, and Make Me Strong. Coupe the leader with 100 to go. Lash, Fuji Dancer are flying. Coupe grabbed by Fuji Dancer. They hit the line. Coupe one of the nose. Fuji Dancer. Lash between them third, and then a break 2. Make Me Strong. Millanova, La Bella Dame and Cocktail Evening trailed by Nulotra. And then it's Houdini, Tarcoola Diamond, Bay Ivy, Ribe, and well.
So made a few runners get no luck in the race because they get trapped out deep and get no chance to get any cover. But what did I say about outsiders in this race? These fillies are very even. So really,
Well, you've been $35 before the jump anyway, and he's got away with this race because it struck a field of fillies that are just not as strong as we've seen in previous years at this stage, and I think that's good placement and great for the owners and for the trainer when you can sneak one away with a filly like that. Group 2, it'll make her a very, very valuable filly.
And Andrew, the other good run of the course of the race 2 I mentioned was Fuji Dancer.
Yeah, Fuji Dancer flew home down the outside. The last couple of sectionals were outstanding for the horse or the filly. David Rakabolis is a trainer.
Northerly and Magical Miss equal top rate ahead of Fields of Omar. Nice side, $6.40 in the last start winner, Fantastic. 1 and 12 equal atop the ratings. Don Eduardo, have you asked him how he's going to go today?
Well, I asked Lee this morning how Don Eduardo was going to go, and he said, well,
He said, I couldn't tell you. He said, no one could. It just depends on how the Don feels with about 500 metres to run, whether he puts it all on the line or whether he just quietly follows them around. We're not...
Find out after the Caulfield Cup and who will be headed towards the Cox Plate. Perhaps both races. We'll find out after this race is run and won. Here's Greg Miles.
It's going into the lane. Lester Thunderwing completing it. So this most important spring stepping stone is about to unfold before us. Northerly the favourite on the inside. Racing, and he's jumped brilliantly Northerly on the inside with Like a Gov, and Dash for Cash has ridden up in the early stages. Coming across, Magical Miss from her wide draw too. She's driving forward. Like a Gov finds the lead as they go by the 1800. Magical Miss to second. Northerly pocketed third with Dash for Cash over racing on his outside. At the moment as they go 30 seconds in Rain Gauge. And last of all is Fields of Omar. Lester Thunderwing was the one midfield by the 800 metres, and Like a Gov led by two. Northerly stalks him a length and a half. Maguire Dash for Cash. Don Eduardo over on the inside from Henderson Bay, and then Magical Miss. Next in the field as they come to the corner, then Helene Vitality, Lester Thunderwing, Sky Heights, Rain Gauge, Fantastic, and then 60 seconds, and Fields of Omar is still last. Into the straight now, and the West Australian, the Fighting Tiger, hit the lead Northerly. He's gone for home. Don Eduardo's coming with a rails run. Wider out Maguire. Here comes Magical Miss with a run, and then Helene Vitality. Northerly the leader at the 200. He leads by about a length here to Dash for Cash. Don Eduardo can't go on. Magical Miss is coming, and here's Fields of Omar sweeping down the outside. Northerly the leader from Dash for Cash. Fields of Omar. Northerly in front. Northerly holding on. You're a champion. Northerly beat Dash for Cash. Photo third, Fields of Omar, Helene Vitality and Fantastic. And they were followed then by Magical Miss. Back behind these horses, Don Eduardo, Maguire, Rain Gauge, Lester Thunderwing, Sky Heights, Like a Gov. And back behind him is Henderson Bay, and 60 seconds is last. He's won again. Completing a treble, last completed by Tobin Bronze in 1966. Northerly has won at number one, taking out the Craigley Underwood and the Turnbull Stakes in a row. We're privileged to witness one of the greats. Dash for Cash has run a monster race in second placing.
Had my worries in the straight. That's all I can say about him. He may lack some of the high speed of other good horses, but his fighting spirit is just not to be denied.
Greg Childs got him off the rails there, probably at a vital stage. He wanted to get off and get that clear running.
I didn't worry early. There was, I think, tactics there to crowd him and bring him undone. Although I must say there was a very solid pace, it looked to me, throughout. And as the race panned out, there was opportunities along the way. I only asked Greg to keep him out of trouble if he could early in the race, and he did that to perfection. And he's maintained his unbeaten record, so he's got a good rapport with the horse.
In such a fighting mood that he is
through the race. And I sort of surged him forward early. He likes to sort of roll forward before the turn and make them chase him, and he likes that fight, and he fought off all challenges. Great effort.
Giving and giving. He looked beaten twice in the straight here, and he's looked like that before this preparation. I'm not certain the Melbourne weight for age horses, although this is set weights and penalties, but I'm not sure that the Melbourne weight for age horses are as strong as Sydney. So I don't quite know where to line Northerly up, but I tell you what, he gives his absolute best, and he's racing as true as a die at the moment, as you say, with the blinkers
off. You can make excuses for horses there, but that's all you're doing, making excuses, because he's just the superior horse there. Good runs by Fantastic, and Fields of Omar got back a bit further than I think Damien wanted to get. I think he slipped at the start.
Andrew, super run. Northerly too much of a start today, and rolled forward. Probably didn't work out quite as good as we would have liked. Still thought I was a chance around the corner, tracked into the straight good, and just whacked away a bit the last bit.
And that's the concern for me. I've had concerns about Magical Miss being able to stay because she's by Danehill, and he's yet to have a decent stayer over the age of 3 years old. And I don't know, yesterday didn't give me any more heart that she would stay. And I think Bart Cummings will have some real concerns. Other runners in the race, I don't think you can make many excuses for. The race was really Northerly's, and everything else just played a bit part.
Yeah,
Richard,
sorry, Andrew.
Fantastic getting through on the inside, 2 off. Gee, it was a nice run. Helene Vitality fights in just on the outside of that horse into 6th spot, and Fields of Omar. Well, it's come from the last on the home turn. and drops, as I say, nicely in cup weights. Look, I've got some news regarding Don Eduardo. I'm trying to get it confirmed, but we understand Don Eduardo has gone amiss. We'll try and get it confirmed for our news segment later, but what I'm being told is that the horse won't be going on through the rest of the spring, but as I say...
And just quickly, 60 seconds?
Yeah, sadly for Roger James and everyone concerned, bled very badly during the race and has been officially retired and will be sent overseas to start.
Wayne, just
impressively, and then he sort of take that next step up, and he sort of weren't quite sure how far he wanted in that, and he sort of went to 1,000 to 15 to 19. So hopefully, for us to do that, it's a good sign.
You're quietly confident?
Oh, to a Group 1, it's it's hard to be confident in the big races.
Yeah, Germany's testing him with a
Genius, Uga Chaka, and Tickle My. Wide open race, they're off now. Venus Was Her Name a little slow from the outside, and Purple Groove's going to drift back early. Seville's Angel, one of the first out, with Wyndham Special going up to join her. A length away in the field, then came Romano Star Tributor. Crimson Gem about 5th or 6th the rail. Chaka back in the rail. Angel leading 3/4, Romano Star, Wyndham Special 3rd. Crimson Gem the rail, and then came Tributor. 3 lengths away Reactive, and then Self-Interest. 2.5 lengths away Pfizer, outside Gentle Genius. 4 lengths break, then 2 Hosanna, followed by Embraceable You, and then Purple Groove getting to the outside to launch her challenge, followed by Uga Chaka, well back and hard ridden. So is Tickle My under the whip, and Venus Was Her Name. They corner at the 500 metres now. Crimson Gem got up on the inside to tackle for the lead with Wyndham Special, then Romano Star Reactive. Self-Interest starting to come home, and Gentle Genius is into the clear, and Purple Groove is behind her with Hosanna. Self-Interest took the lead from Wyndham Special at the 200. Down the outside, Hosanna is coming. Gentle Genius is flying, and Purple Groove. Hosanna's raced up wide out to go to the lead from Self-Interest, Gentle Genius, Purple Groove, and Hosanna. Hosanna's won it by 3/4 to Gentle Genius. The Cameron form holding up. Purple Groove is up there too, followed by Self-Interest, and then came Venus Was Her Name, trailed by Tickle My Tributor, Wyndham Special, followed by Crimson Gem and Reactive, Pfizer and Uga Chaka. Well back is Zabiel's Angel, followed by Embraceable You and Romano Star.
For Unitab, we get the details. Now, Cheltenham is our next sectional speed, so they're now online, and today's ratings tomorrow.
2 followed by Self-Interest. Yes,
One well. Our race caller Greg Miles was spot on when he said the Cameron Handicap at Newcastle, the form was very good out of it. Of course, Accelerator came out of that race, and so Hosanna ran a good 4th, and it was a return to form for her. But this was certainly a step up again. She, perhaps not in class, but in performance from her. She was very, very strong over the last 50 metres. Mares' races are always a lottery, but she was clearly the best. Carried the #1 saddlecloth, and too good for them.
Deserved a bit of black type. She, as a 2-year-old, run into all the best 2-year-olds. You know, she was a little bit behind them. And I think John Hawkes has always sort of steered away from wet tracks with her. So that was the first win on a wet track yesterday. So she just had the class to win and thoroughly deserved.
Even franking that.
8th race on the card, Rubitano and Lewinsky equal top rate, 4 and 14, ahead of 9 and 16. Let's check out the full market. Tough race, this one. And this is the Gilgai Stakes. Assertive Lad for Simon Marshall's at big odds. Lazagaletta, he'll love the cut out of the ground today.
Oh, he's a lovely old horse. He does like the cut out of the ground. Always runs a good race. Look, Rubitano, probably the testing material here. Drawn the 10. That's probably not a bad gate in the middle of the field there. But I think Lewinsky's a much improved horse. Drawn the 12, really. This Barcada is also a Group 1 winner. I mean, this is a high-class sprinting field, and it's a very...
Has taken her gate. Rubitano, the Newmarket winner, locked away. Fair Embrace out at 5:03, and the sub is 8 Belle de Jour. And they're racing. Rubitano jumped okay, so did Golden Delicious off to sea. Sports got away well. Strategic Image showed pace, and so also Cosmic Strike. She's jumped away brilliant today. Lewinsky got away fast also. As they settle down and come to the 850-metre mark, and Barcada is showing plenty of pace on the outside and might have a narrow lead with Cosmic Strike, Rubitano, and Sports all up there. Just behind them is Lewinsky and Strategic Image handy to the speed, followed by Golden Delicious. They're being trailed then by Lazagoletta, and further back as Let's Planted. Assertive Lad is coming up the middle of the track there, and they were followed by El Nino, and back behind them is Belle de Jour coming. It's going to come up the middle of the course, and well back Jai's Jump and Susie Gray passing the 400. Rubitano with Sports and Golden Delicious. Cosmic Strike and the black and white stripes on the outside rail. Then El Nino. Belle de Jour sees daylight. Jai's Jump the widest runner. Golden Delicious burst to the lead at the 150. Cosmic Strike's coming home with Rubitano, and then Strategic Image coming through late. Cosmic Strike getting up to Golden Delicious and Rubitano. Strategic Image diving. Cosmic Strike from Strategic Image. Rubitano third. Golden Delicious fourth. Then Lazagoletta, Jai's Jump, Susie Gray off to see Belle de Jour, El Nino. Lewinsky was next to go over the line, followed by Sportsbar.
Strike the 16 at Juicy Odds. Good luck if you found that one. One of the equal third raters beating Strategic Image the 7.
On Sky.
Strategic Image the 7.
On Sky, and it appears that she likes to settle and get plenty of speed in her races.
He took up training himself in Adelaide. He's done a great... It was a very tightly held bunch, and there were horses climbing over their heels behind them. I know I was watching old Lazagoletta, and he never got a real good crack at him until the race was all over either. But well done. The horse against the outside fence always has the advantage when you're hard up against the outside, and Cosmic Strike prevailed on the day.
And it was 30s into 16s, Andrew.
Yes, I must admit I had something on it, because the run at Caulfield the start before, as Dan mentioned in that grab we had from him, missed the start terribly, but it was in the straight. It was magnificent work home, and I just thought being in the right barrier, out wide.
Out of the ratings, but only just. She rates a special from Royal Perla and Miss Bowie, and then Sunday Joy. So 1 from 3 and 6, and then number 2. First we'll hear from Brian York, and he saddles up, avoid perhaps the first of our big Group 1s today, and on-course Private Steer continues to firm up. Richard, tactics will be important here.
Small fields tactics are always important. You could see Victory Vane from the 5 alley there, jumping and taking up a forward position. I don't know whether Private
Steer, but not far away. Royal Perla just leads Victory Vane. Sierra Dane holding the rails third, then Private Steer. Sunday Joy is next to last, and close down past the 800 in the Flight Stakes, and Royal Perla out about a length on Victory Vane. Nearly 2 lengths away, third is Sierra Dane. Private Steer on her outside, and the last pair still Miss Bowie and Sunday Joy. Royal Perla down towards the 500 marker, a length and a half on Victory Vane. Danny Beasley hasn't moved on her yet. Sierra Dane inside of Private Steer, who's tracking Victory Vane. And Miss Bowie and Sunday Joy, the joint tail enders, still around the corner. Royal Perla set sail for the judge, a length on Victory Vane. He hasn't called on her yet. Private Steer followed by Sunday Joy. Now he asks Victory Vane for a run. She cruised up to Royal Perla. Private Steer's under the whip. Victory Vane having a struggle to get away from Royal Perla, and then Private Steer. By golly, Royal Perla's fighting on. Victory Vane's got a fight in her hands. On the inside, Royal Perla's actually pulled away from the hot pot. Well, what about that? Royal Perla all the way to win the Flight Stakes. Victory Vane second, and then Private Steer, Miss Bowie, Sierra Dane and Sunday Joy. Goodness gracious me, I've got to shake my head to think I'm still here. Royal Perla. Patrick Payne has, in fact, come away on the line to beat the hot pot Victory Vane. Number 4.
Coming to the turn, but did you have a look back to see how well the favourite was going at that stage?
Yeah, the favourite forward, and he controlled the race. I think the strongest horse over the 1600 won the race. Victory Vane, maybe she had an off day. She lays in very badly. You can see the head on here the last little bit. Speaking to Jimmy there just off camera before, he said that if she'd have got the victory, might have lost it in the room, Jim.
Yeah, well, she did get in on the eventual winner, and as you can see here, Wayne, she lays all over probably the last 50 or 60 metres, and you know, it could have been dodgy if the result had been the other way.
That's a tired horse, isn't it? I mean, horses do that, as you know, Jim, and Wayne would both agree. When horses get tired, they'll often lay in, won't they? I'm here to say, I'll make a statement. Victory Vane's best distances are below 1,600 metres. I know she won 1,600 metres at a Group 1 level as a 2-year-old, but as 2-year-olds you can do that, as 3-year-olds you can do that. The older you get, the harder it is to stay if you're not a genuine stayer. And I think she showed me, anyway, that she's a 1,200, 1,400 metre horse and a real good one.
I think you're writing her off too quick, Richard.
Oh, I don't know. Look, good horses get beaten. Even champions mostly get beaten more than they win. But I just think she's suspect at 1,600 metres.
The other filly there that there was a boom on, Private Steer, she ran a good race. She ended up running third in the race. So she's done it all in one preparation. So don't sack her either. I think it's the strongest mile.
So it'd be nice to see 1 or 2 today.
Gives you something to shoot for, too. It's a terrific goal to keep the nose to the grindstone.
Oh, my word, look, just winning and being out there at this competitive level is great, and, you know, I know I'm there today, mate.
They're not calling you a...
Andrew Bensley, before we take you to the Craven Plate, how about some news on Don Eduardo?
Lee, have you been happy with Don Eduardo just in the last week or so?
In second, followed closely by Red Hannigan Spillway, and then Mr. Bureaucrat, County Tyrone, followed by Forest Jim, and then Monmeeke, Carnegie Express and Freemason. It's clearly now Red Hannigan, Monmeeke still wide as the speed slows a shade, and then Freemason, Carnegie Express, Patrick Payne's taking off on him now, and then Bedouin, who's got shuffled back from Mr. Bureaucrat and Forest Jim. They work their way along past the 650 Manor Hill from Spillway. Monmeeke's done it tough. A length the County Tyrone. Right out off the track is Carnegie Express. Red Hannigan followed by Bedouin, Freemason, Mr. Bureaucrat, and 2 lengths to Forest Jim around the corner. And Manor Hill in the Craven Plate straightens up 3/4 on one of his stablemates, Spillway. 2 lengths to Carnegie Express, and Mr. Bureaucrat is coming down the outside. Monmeeke's called it today. Manor Hill kicks at the 200. Manor Hill a length and a half, Spillway. Carnegie Express struggles. So does Mr. Bureaucrat and then Bedouin, but it's Manor Hill in front, has been beautifully ridden, and Manor Hill goes to the post and wins convincingly from Spillway, Forest Jim, Carnegie Express and Bedouin. Then Freemason, County Tyrone, Mr. Bureaucrat, Monmeeke and Red Hannigan last to complete the course. Number 6, Spillway, paid $4.90. Number 5, Forest Jim here in a nice race, $9.60. Quinella, $49.80. Exacta, $123.10. Trifecta.
To run in both. Look, my leaning will be... Plate looks at the horse's mercy, and it would be very difficult to run in both. Look, my leaning will be... I think Fred will go to the Cox Plate. I don't think he'll go to the Caulfield Cup, but hey, he's a great horse, but he knows that horse better than anyone will ever know him. And what a horse he is. He just will not lie down. He's an absolute...
Presented by one of the best-looking horses in Australia, Masquerado. Brendan?
Tappy, he's the firm second elect on course. Bit of specking longer odds for Addendum, Monty Grand and Civics at much longer odds.
I tell you what, I'm laying the favourite.
You are?
If I was a bookie, I'd be laying the favourite. And I know this is my make or break race, this. I either go to the front with my punting or I don't. Or I get so far behind I can't catch up.
Recruiting on the inside jump quickly. Away well Masquerado, and so too Sportsman. Lavishly not far away. And Tackhouse going forward quickly, and so too as they settle is Clangalang, followed by Best Score. Addendum very wide out, then Monty Grande, followed by Civics. About a length and a half further back is Soprana, and a length and a half the favourite Platinum Scissors. Compact field, however, recruiting to the Masquerado. Just over a length then coming Monty Grande, followed closely by Lavishly, and a couple of lengths further away in the field is on the inside Civics, and on its outside is Soprana, and 2.5 to Platinum Scissors. It'd be 20 lengths off the lead, I'd reckon. Coming down the side of the track and going to the 700. A little no change in the order, and it's Addendum from Tackhouse, 3 Sportsmen, and then Clangalang. Best Score, 2 recruiting, 1 Masquerado. Lavishly on the outside of Monty Grande, followed by Soprana Civics, and Platinum Scissors is still last of all, but he's about to make a move. I'd reckon J.A. Cassidy. He's pulled the whip on him as they come round the corner. Into the stretch now, and Tackhouse race to the lead from Addendum. Then Sportsman, followed by Clangalang, weaving clear. Masquerado joining in, so too Lavishly, and Soprana down the outside, and then Platinum Scissors. Tackhouse at the 200 is just in front, under siege. However, here's Soprana. Soprana and also Platinum Scissors. Platinum Scissors, Soprana. The colt is going to outplug the filly, and Platinum Scissors wins the Spring Champion Stakes. Platinum Scissors beats Soprana, Masquerado, Clangalang, Lavishly and Tackhouse. Further away, Sportsman, Monty Grande, Civics, Best Score, long margin Addendum, and recruiting at the tail of the field. The favourite is Too Good. Yassine, trained by Gay Waterhouse, and the numbers are official: 6, 11, 4 and 3. Platinum Scissors first. Number 11 is second.
He's the most switched-off horse. That's why he's such a great... He'd make a really outstanding Derby horse, if ever there's been a Derby horse with a capital D.
Yeah, that's true.
And he's just... Max Presnell asked me once, he said, "Oh, what's your Melbourne Cup horse?" I said, "Platinum Scissors." He said, "Oh."
Yeah.
Anyway.
Now, he's had
What were your thoughts at that stage of the race?
Well, funny enough, we talked about riding him quiet, and I think Gabe was having heart palpitations at the 600 when I was riding him that quiet. But as I said to Ray Murray after the race, it was the only opportunity I had was to go back to get on the track. early I was always going to be 4 or 5 deep, so I didn't want to go forward on him yesterday. So
comparisons have already been made with Nothing Like a Dane. Gay trained that, of course, to win the Victoria Derby several years ago. He then backed up in the Melbourne Cup. Now she's aiming this horse for the Victoria Derby. What are your thoughts?
I think he'll win the Derby in Melbourne, no risk. You know, the 2500 will suit him down to the ground.
Hey, Jim can stay a bit. He can at least get 2,000 metres, and so can Soprano. That's what it looked like to me. He just outstayed those other horses.
Well, the thing about him, he's still a big baby. Like, he doesn't really know how to get up on the bit and travel, and like, he doesn't really help you much in a race. So, like, when I let on him, and from a staying point of view, I think when we get to Melbourne, I don't think there's a lot with great staying ability. If there's 4 or 5 or there's 10, he's one of them, and I wouldn't be getting off him in the Derby for any other runner.
Jimmy, from a staying point of view, you had to ride him quite like that to teach him to stay down the track a bit.
Well, I did, and as I said, if I had drawn 1 or 2 yesterday, I would have certainly been 4 or 5 lengths closer. I would have loved to have been 4 or 5 lengths closer than I was yesterday, but circumstances early, I took the punt. I had to go back, and you know, I'm a genius. It paid off. Yeah.
You're a genius.
Thank you.
No, the speed was the speed. Well, he is a genius.
He is.
Sure. I mean, you're talking about a horse like Superimpose. You're talking about horses with some class in the race. How do you go past the fire? I think he snuck in a couple of kilos lighter than he would have been, mainly because it was weighted a long time ago, and he's won weight for age races since and can't be penalised.
Now, Gordo rates ahead of him, ahead of Universal Prince,
Defier,
and Accelerator, 7 from 2, 3 and 6.
How could Gordo rate ahead of Defier?
Gordo hasn't lost a race this preparation. He drops 4.5 kilos on his most recent start.
Defier could pull a cart and beat Gordo.
We'll see in about 26 minutes from now. Let's have a little side wager. Alf Matthews, I hope you're not going to buy into this, because Defier to the bloke to my left, I'm going with Gordo. Have you got another one to beat us in the Epsom?
No, Brendan. In fact, I'm going for Gordo too, because I think he's tall.
At longer odds. But Defier will run as a pronounced favourite when they jump away. Currently, as I say, New South Wales, $3 and $1.70. Shogun Lodge, winning the race 2 years ago. Last year, of course, it was run on the Kensington grass, and Final Fantasy beat Kingsgate and Crawl. Of course, both Kingsgate and Crawl. Previous of the day, Platinum Scissors scored in the Spring Champion Stakes for Jimmy Cassidy and For Jimmy Cassidy. In the Epsom, a great start. Immediately Crawl and Sail of Century out the back. And straight to the lead, Accelerator taken on by Zabara, Phoenix Park, and Kingsgate, and Swiss Echo will lead. Then the New Zealand Crawl is last. Zabara up leading today as they swing the first corner. Zabara a length on Swiss Echo, 2 to Kingsgate, Accelerator, Irish Rover wide, then Phoenix Park. A length the Universal Prince, 1.5 Shogun Lodge on the inside of Defier. Then Evander followed a length and a half further back. Make Me a Miracle, Gordo, Hey Pronto, 2.5 to Crawl, and a length Sail of Century. In the Epsom, they come past the halfway, and Zabara leads from Swiss Echo, Irish Rover and Kingsgate. 2 lengths further away in the field, Phoenix Park keeping company with one of his stablemates, Accelerator on the rails. 2 lengths, Universal Prince. A length and a half, Evander, followed by Shogun Lodge, Defier. And then Gordo, Hey Pronto, Crawl, Make Me a Miracle, and Sail of Centuries drop right out of it around the corner. And here's Zabara leads narrowly from Swiss Echo to Kingsgate. Then Accelerator, who's trying to get out. He bumped there with Kingsgate. He's into the clear now. Accelerator from Phoenix Park. And then comes Gordo. And Defier still a long way back. But Jimmy Cassidy goes for home on Accelerator. Accelerator put 2 lengths. Gordo wide out. But this is another big one for Jim and Gay. Accelerator wins it. Kingsgate second, or close third. We've got wide out Gordo with Evander and Defier. Followed home then by at the head of the others, Irish Rover, Zabara. Crawl and Hey Pronto followed up at the head of the others by Universal Prince. Shogun Lodge, Make Me a Miracle, followed by Swiss Echo, and Phoenix Park in company with Sail of Century, the last pair. And Jim and Gay have done it again. Accelerator wins the Epsom. And didn't he have a...
Is this the first one you and Frank have been involved in?
No, we've had a few horses. We've got quite a few with Gay.
Oh, Joe, it was so exciting. It was really what racing's all about. So satisfying and just so thrilling.
Such a dominant performance by Accelerator to win.
Very, very good horse. Champion 2-year-old, came out and then came and won the Cameron, and then second in the weight for age race the other day, and then he just annihilated them by 2.5 lengths today.
He sure did give them a toweling yesterday, Accelerator in the Group 1 Epsom Handicap. Jimmy, particularly satisfying for you. I know you were very happy winning the Cameron Handicap on him at Newcastle, but going to that Group 1 level yesterday would have been very satisfying after all the problems that the stables endured with the horse.
Yeah, look, Guy's done a marvellous job with this horse. He, as she said in the interview after the race, he was champion 2-year-old. His 6 or 7 runs as a 3-year-old, he was never 100%, and to come out and win the Cameron, just the way that she's able to turn horses round, she's really done a marvellous job with this horse.
Jim, you had a lovely run in transit, but you had a bit of a, well, trying to get out here with Robert Thompson on Kingsgate in the purple colours, just about here.
You didn't do the stablemate any favours there, did you?
No, well, we're not there to play marbles, Harry, and just as I did come out, unfortunately, a big gust of wind come up, and it probably just sort of overreacted the way that he come out there.
You put a beautiful one on him. But that's competitive riding. I congratulate you for it. There must have been just a second there when you thought, I wonder if I will get out of here.
Oh, there was no way I was going to get caught there, mate. Look, I travelled beautiful in the run. I had a lot.
Kingsgate, also from the Gay Waterhouse stable.
Because I drew a good barrier, I had a lovely run in the race, but the wind was just too good on the day, but my horse really tried his heart out and really ran a top race.
He ran really good, Joe. Following Defire and Universal Prince, and they were going nowhere at the half mile, and had to switch out probably about the 600 and slowly work into it by myself without getting a drag, but he ran really well. Draws a barrier, he probably finishes a clear second, but, you know, a little bit unlucky.
He's run well, Joe. He showed no early speed today out of the barriers at all and got back, and I got stuck behind Universal Prince and stopped like a shut duck before the corner, so that really didn't help my matters at all, but his best work was the last 50 metres, so I wouldn't ride him off just yet. He still went well.
Yeah, he ran pointing. He just had a lovely run. I followed Accelerator throughout the whole race, and Accelerator was giving me a lovely cart, and I was just working up behind him as usual, going very well. Pulled him out into pretty good clear running. He didn't find his usual sprint, so we're just scratching our heads why he runs so bad today.
As usual, runs galore in the Epsom Handicap yesterday. I think we can all forgive Defire for his performance.
Joe, yeah, I think Gay and John Hawkes ran 6 of the first 7 placings, and Defire split them up there. I didn't think he had a great deal of luck at all. Maybe Chris Muntz speaking there said that he didn't really back up from last week. I don't know about that. I think the horse ran quite good. He just didn't, I think, ping when he needed to, and he followed Universal Prince, who didn't take him into the race, and he just got held up coming to the home turn. I think it cost him the race because he only really got out the last 100 metres.
We just want to analyse
on the Group 1 Metropolitan, the top rater and the second rater. 18, Red Trinket ahead of 11, Bello Signor, then Manor Hill and Piace, 18, 11, 6 and 19. Here's the latest check of betting figures. Interesting runner is Sand Mason, whom Wayne Harris tipped on top in the preview this morning. A Group 2 winner over this journey in the UK. Dress Circle, this race winner last year, is right in the market. There's some gear changes with market. Daniels the man's at big odds, as is the case with Pristine Partners. Red Trinket, though, is all of the rage at $4.90. Piace, $16 chance.
The big go on track. Red Trinket is now 3/4 of a point shorter than Dress Circle. Kieran McAvoy riding for Gay Waterhouse. A winner at his last start in the Colin Stephen, and haven't the Colin Stephen winners had a good record in the Metrop in recent years. Can Gay make it 7 Metrops in the last 11 years? Time will only tell. In the Metropolitan Handicap, and they're racing this time. And one of the best to break the line was Georgie Boy. Manor Hill got out well, and so did Sand Mason. And very wide out, Master Pommer's going forward with Spillway. And then Bello Signor, followed by, tightened up Native Jazz. Got between Spillway and Dress Circle and got a bit of a prat. Out of the Mason, Spillway, no luck on the run. Followed by Daniels, the man star of the seas. Victory, Smile, Daniel, Red Trinket has got 2 behind him. Pristine Partners and Piace on the side by the 800 marker. And the leader, Master Pom from Georgie Boy. Feed the meter, gallops to 3rd. A length and a half to Manor Hill, Bello Signor, Spillway and Sand Mason. Dress Circle, time off, and then comes Native Jazz. A length and a half, Star of the Seas, Daniels the man, and then comes at the head of the others, Victory Smile, Big Pat, Red Trinket, 4th last, followed by on the outside, Piace, Daniel and Pristine Partners. Many chances as they straighten up in the Metrop, and Bello Signor reaches the lead. On the outside, Dress Circle is coming into it with time off. Feed the Meter dropping off. And down the outside, here's the Kiwi, Victory Smile. And Piace wider out. But Victory Smile hits the front from Dress Circle. Danny Beasley riding hard on Victory Smile. It holds Dress Circle and Piace. And Victory Smile wins the Metrop. Victory Smile from a very close photo. Piace and Dress Circle followed home by Red Trinket and Time Off, Star of the Seas, and then another 2 lengths. Big Pat and Danyon, Feed the Meter, Native Jazz, Bellows Senor. Followed home by Daniels the Man, Spillway, Manor Hill.
Turns all yours.
Donna Logan, congratulations. Victory Smile, that's what you've got.
Too good to say much, actually.
Congratulations, Donna.
Thank you
very much.
What
are the plans, by the way? What big race?
Well, we've got him in the Melbourne Cup, so...
Can't get any bigger.
1, 2 or 3 today to justify heading that way, so... Yeah.
Saturday's meeting here, but like you said, he should be just in behind him getting the run of the race.
Yeah, and the fresh record is terrific.
Definitely.
Okay, and a promising one in the last called Aras.
Yeah, his last start win was extremely good. He come from the tail of the field because he drew a bad gate.
The King G Shorts not too far away. And again to our viewers listening in or watching in through the Trackside Network in New Zealand and right around Australia on Sky. And this race is due to go in about 90 seconds or a bit less than that from now, where Century Kid is enjoying support. Graham Rogerson prepared a very, very fun battle. Let's head trackside to Ian Craig.
Thank you, Brendan. And double-figure Century Kid. So Lord Essex runs favourite, but a pretty open race. In a lot of 50s, and the horse in question is Maitland Gold. By the look of it. Well, that's a shame. Bad luck for Connections, and the jock, I assume, is quite okay. Maru Force out well, and so too is Ancient Song and National Saint. Century Kid will burn the lot of them off, followed by Lord Essex, and behind those is Shags, Marwin Gull pretty wide from Alibaba, Empire, Fuadi, and then Bradshaw and Diamond Dane as they come down to the 750, and Century Kid is the leader. About 3/4 of a length on Ancient Song. National Saint is wide out third. 2.5 to Oamaru Force and Marwin Gull, Shags to Lord Essex, followed by Empire and then Alibaba. Further back, Bradshaw, Fuadi, and Absolute is Diamond Dane. They're on the corner. Century Kid hanging. He's about 4 or 5 off the inside rail. He's taken National Saint wider. A length away, third Ancient Song, followed by Oamaru Force, Shagged, Marwin Gold, Empire and Alibaba as they come down to the 250. There are chances of plenty where Shags hits the front now. Shags about a length here on Empire. Late is Fuadi and then Alibaba. Shags in front, about 70 to go. Empire pegging him back. Shags, Empire. Shags just in front near the wire. Oh, Empire made a big dive at him. It's very close. Shags and Empire and Shags in a ripper of a finish to the shorts. Fuadi third, then National Saint with Alibaba, Marwin Gold. A length and a half further away was Ancient Song, Century Kid, Diamond Dane, Bradshaw, Lord Essex. Last was Oamaru Force, and the late scratching at 4.29 was Maitland Gold. 142.40. The trifecta, $1,702.10. The first 4, 6, 11, 3 and 13, 13,819.
And class success, so 1 from 7, 2 and 5. Perhaps here, Richard, it could be the step back in journey for Innovation Girl. That's the trick.
Look, she ran 5th at the last start, but that was at 1,400 metres. She's stepping back to 1,200 metres.
Now Raven Protector. So the first 3 locked in for this Group 3 Thoroughbred Club Stakes. And about 3 lengths away then came Romantic Flyer on the outside and took a chance. Before the turn, Sensational Spot from Class Success. Toast of the Coast getting a run between them. Then Majorette and Bold Cherie, and 2 lengths away Innovation Girl. Now where's Rawilla going to go? He's searching for a run on the favourite behind the leading horses. Toast of the Coast moved up and took the lead. There's the run for Innovation Girl. And she's answering quickly now at the 200 metres. And it's Innovation Girl sprinting up to go to Sensational Spot. And then Toast of the Coast is wilting between them. But the favourite's racing away, Innovation Girl. She'll be far too good. And Innovation Girl won it by 2.5 lengths. Sensational Spot, a great run. Second, Toast of the Coast might have held Raven Protector for the 3rd place. Then Romantic Flyer, Raw Trees appearing, and the gap opened up in plenty of time. And her well-known Acceleration was there to the fore again. Innovation Girl winning, and winning it with something in hand, it appeared. Race 4 next, into Stewart 130.
Won like a good filly too. She was a class above them. A couple of other fillies looked well and ran all right in the race and will win their share of Group 2 and Group 3 races. But this is a Group 1 filly. I don't know whether he goes on to the 1,000. Well, he won't go on to the 1,000 guineas now. He'll skip that. But whether he goes on and tries her again at the 1,400 in the mile, but she's a superior sprinter.
Yeah, we're watching here Innovation Girl. Her record now is 10 wins from 12 starts. And Natural Willa, her rider, has never been beaten on her. The last race is
Strategic, ahead of Falvalon, and Spinning Hill as the equal second elect. Spinning Hill tops the ratings from Strategic, North Boy, and then Falvalon. 6 from 2, 3, and number 1. Interesting race, this one. Oh, you could look at all of them and have a good story to tell about each of them.
Spinning Hill won first up last preparation, won first up this preparation. Last preparation, her second run was in the Newmarket. She went pretty ordinarily. She may do it again second up. It may be a pattern with her. We don't know. On weights.
So let's just hope Fair Embrace holds it together in the gates here today. They're all in, set for the Scalacci. Ready. Racing. Mystagic jumped okay. Also Falvalon got away all right towards the outside. Sunday Shoes strides through and joins Mystagic early. North Boy settled off them third. Then Falvalon outside Fair Embrace, followed by Sound the Alarm and Spinning Hill last on the inside. Heading to the 600, Sunday Shoes running it fast, led by about 2.5 lengths. Mystagic, North Boy third. Fair Embrace fourth, the inside, and then Falvalon 2 to Sound the Alarm and Spinning Hill on the rails. Sunday Shoes by 2, Mystagic easing away from the rail, North Boy 3 wide, then Fair Embrace. Falvalon within 4 of the leader, then Sound the Alarm and Spinning Hill. Into the straight now, and Mystagic moved up and took the lead from Sunday Shoes, and then North Boy. Here's Falvalon coming down the outside, and then Fair Embrace. Mystagic had the break at the 150, but Falvalon's widening up. Spinning Hill starting to come now down the outside. Falvalon hit the lead. Spinning Hill tries to reach him. Falvalon in front. Spinning Hill dived. Very close. Spinning Hill got very close to Falvalon. Not sure if she's got there or not. Mystagic third, then North Boy, Fair Embrace, Sunday Shoes, Sound the Alarm. Has she made it? She's swamped Falvalon in the last few bounds. She might have got there. It's very, very close. They've run 57 points.
Richard. Sensational. There's a classic case of the leader setting up the race. I mean, without Sunday Shoes tearing away out in front, I think Mystagic would have probably hung on a lot longer, and it would have been very difficult for Spinning Hill to get there. But she's done it. She's defied her looks in the yard. She was sweating up, wasn't in the greatest condition in the yard that I thought, but she's a great mare, and you should never rule out a great mare like that.
And we'll come back with Guy Walters shortly.
Well, when we look at sprinting mares, Andrew Bensley, I try to rack my brains on some of the best sprinting mares in Australian racing history. Before we just go back...
She proved, Andrew, what a great mare she is. She's just, I can't speak highly enough of her, you know. She's had to come back to 1,000 against the best sprinters in the land, and she's run them down, and yet out on the race course she's got a fierce will to win.
Perhaps the best sprinting mare we've seen since maybe Special. You can go back through a few more. Dual Choice. I don't know. There's probably a stack of them. But maybe Mahal, Desirable. But this mare's right up there with them. Her performances have been sensational. Surprised to hear Paddy Payne saying she was always going to get there. When was she always going to get there? About the last 3 strides or something? But anyway.
He knew.
Oh, I suppose he knew. They all claim they know after the race. Keith?
It was a nicely timed ride, whatever, wasn't it? And she is a most talented mare. She'd beaten Bella Speed and Manakota at her previous start. She's so good fresh. First up, second up, her 2 best runs. So I don't know whether she can carry on, but if she does, she's the best sprinting mare around. Lee Curtis, the trainer of Mystagic, was upset with the tactics by Michael Rodd, who rode Sunday Shoes for pace. He said that erased the winning prospects of Mystagic, who was a heavily backed favourite. Both Falvalon caught in the last start, and Mystagic will go on to Hong Kong. Falvalon going for a 3rd win in the big sprint there, and Mystagic is going to have a crack at that too.
And what was he doing, Mike?
Presentation stakes. It's 12 clearly ahead of the 3, 4 and 6. Full market. Let's just check out the main ones on course. It's National Treasure. Well tried and good value on the tote. Ahead of Maguire, Grey Song, the Second Mortgage. They're all equal 3rd favourites behind Gold Lottie, which has eased. Wide open race outside of National Treasure, and you're getting good value on the tote. Now, Matthews, as we look at the...
Right, just speaking about the Second Mortgage, he was second last year when he needed to win to make the Caulfield Cup field, and he's in the same place today, as are National Treasure out just reasonably down towards the inside, and the second Mortgage was away well. So is Pantani. The South Australian Derby winner began fast. Requiem's up there too from Leicester Thunderwing. Thong and Classic from a wide barrier trying to work over. But it's Pantani now going to the lead with Requiem on his inside. They head off the second Mortgage. Wayside now, Pantani. It hasn't been run fast. He leads by 3/4 Requiem. Over on the inside, the second Mortgage from Thong Classic and Firetain. 2 to Gold Lottie, National Treasure, Henderson Bay around her. They're bunching now. Then Miss Meliss, followed by Maguire, awkwardly placed on the inside of Leicester Thunderwing. The A-Train taking off, and then Rum and Grey Song at the 600. And Requiem straight up to join Pantani. Thong Classic ready to let loose. The second Mortgage needing a run. Gold Lottie through the inside. National Treasure's under pressure. She's boxed in with horses around her now as they corner from Henderson Bay, and Miss Meliss coming with a run. Thong Classic raced up. He's taken the lead round the turn from Requiem. The second Mortgage is in the clear, and then Pantani, Gold Lottie, and then Miss Meliss. 150 metres to go now. Thong Classic, Requiem the inside. The second Mortgage closing at every stride. Requiem, Thong Classic. The second Mortgage is looming large now. The second Mortgage out wide, hit the lead, won it. The second Mortgage by a nose, Requiem. Between them, Thong Classic third. Then Miss Meliss, National Treasure, Leicester Thunderwing and Pantani. Next, Gold Lottie, Maguire and Grey Song, and they were followed by 5.
Tongue-tied for the first time. He needs all the help he can get, I tell you. I'll be surprised. I had a bit of success in Caulfield Cups, but I think this race this year will be too good for second Mortgage, in my humble opinion.
It's just good to have a runner, I guess.
Yeah, sure. No, he's always shown promise, and so many things wrong with him, and so unlucky. So I think I deserved that.
When he came, he was sort of a bit...
He's ever had.
He was a highly spruiked horse.
Yeah, but he was, because... You know, Michael said he's probably the best days he's ever had, and in that stage he had Brew, so maybe he may now proven to be right. I just wonder about that.
I'm not traditionally been one of the Caulfield Cup lead-up races, but I just think the class of that race was below the standard of the other lead-ups that we've seen, and I'll be surprised if the Caulfield Cup winner comes out of that. Second Mortgage did a good job. Look, he hasn't been at his best so far this spring, the second Mortgage. That was a welcome return to form for him. But I think it was against basically, you know, second-level opposition. Hard to see anything from that race coming through and winning a Caulfield Cup, Ron.
National Treasure was a heavily backed favourite. She's just inexperienced, run a race in patches there. Their horse didn't have much luck there. Grey Song had run into a lot of dead ends down the straight. Forget he went round, but he's probably a wet tracker as well.
Yeah. On road. And Damien Oliver faces a daunting task, trying to win the Caulfield Guineas on popular colt Bel Esprit.
To be holding this trophy tomorrow, Damien Oliver might have to produce one of the rides of his life. Bel Esprit's task is monumental, and his Caulfield Guineas fate rests in his jockey's hands.
He's been the boom 3-year-old and, you know, 2-year-old throughout his career, and I've only just started riding him, so the fact that he's drawn a wide gate and there's a big query over him running the distance, it does come down to me.
While he's pondered the question of whether to rush forward or settle back for 3 days, the decision will be made in a split second tomorrow. For now, Oliver intends to go forward.
He's raced that most of his career, and you know, it's difficult to sort of change that when you come to a big race like this.
From barrier 15, he'll be the best odds of his 10-start career. Bookmaker Alan Iskander prepared to offer $5 about the popular colt.
It's second favourite. It's probably talent-wise the best horse in the field, but I just think there's queries, and so as a bookie, I guess my perspective is a little bit different. My bookies, as a bookie, I'm trying to find a weakness. If I find the weakness, I'm sort of happy to lay them.
Last year's Guineas winner.
Bel Esprit's going to look the winner somewhere in the straight. I reckon with 50 metres to go, people who back Bel Esprit are going to be cheering because I think he's going to win. But I think something's going to grab him. Could be Helena's. I give Choisir a chance too. Because I think he's been going very well in Sydney and he's been bringing himself undone. All he's got to do is settle, and he's drawn the right gate to do that. So I think he's classy enough. But there are a couple of others in the race. But
I think he's just he's been knocked down a few times, and I think the blinkers will just probably keep him a bit more focused when obviously the runs are coming, and he'll be able to take him a bit better.
And also, Brett, I think what is important, blinkers going on, normally going up in ground, not that good, but there's going to be guaranteed speed on.
Yeah, there'll be plenty of speed. He'd never ever over-raced this horse, so it wouldn't matter.
Well, Helenas was a little bit of a handful, but he's gone in now, Brendan. We've got the first 4 locked away. Bel Esprit was in a bit of a mood here this afternoon when he came onto the track. He's been just a little stirred up here by the occasion. Riderless King Wells comes up in a line. Titanic Jack's about to move up. On commands in 99. He, of course, was first over the line on Scalato 2 years ago and lost it with the positive. And second on Eustonov last year. So if you wait long enough. Racing. Bellesprit jumped pretty well towards the outside. Great Glen and Schwazier first to bounce out with All of Me. And Bunker got away fast in the early part. Bellesprit settling at the tail. He's only got 2 behind him. And Schwazier setting the tempo. Leads by 3. He's followed then by Titanic Jack, Cool Trent. 2.5 lengths to Bellesprit, third last, and then Rohayton and Delago Brom. A fierce pace set by Schwazier. At the halfway at the 800, he's about 3 lengths in front. Second is Great Glen, and then King Wells, 2 to Bunker, All of Me the inside. A length into Grand Lover, Sailor Eve, ACDC, a length and a half further back. Helena's over on the outside of Tycoon Ruler. Then came Titanic Jack, buried away on the inside. As they came up towards the turn, he was being followed then by Cool Trent. Rohayton in behind them on the inside as they sweep towards the corner. Bellesprit still well back. Half Hennessy's gone forward ahead of him, and Delago Brommer's last. Schwazier led, Great Glen, King Wells, Bunker and All of Me coming into the straight. They were followed by Helenas coming to the outside, but he's run now. Bellesprit still a fair way back. Schwazier still led at the 150 from Great Glen. Here comes Helenas. He's starting to lengthen with every stride. Schwazier in front. Helenas has got him. Helenas has raced to the front for Stevie King and Leon Corstens, and Helenas brilliantly. Bellesprit flies home to second. Schwazier third. Great Glen fourth. Titanic Jack fifth. Then Bunker, and they were trailed then by Delago Brom from last, and then came Grand Lover, Sailor Eve. Then All of Me, and in behind those were Rohayton, and then came ACDC, Tycoon Ruler. Well back is Half Hennessy, and they were trailed then by Kisses Won It. A fast run Caulfield Guineas, and he wound up in the manner of a wonderful stayer. He's just improved every start. He's gone to the races, and he's taken out the
together and be a real good derby chance, I think. And Schwazier, what a great run him. Look, if this horse would settle, he would win races like that, but he's bolted off in front again, set the race up for the 2 coming from the back. And you can't take anything away from Bellesprit either. I never thought he'd run the trip, but he got well back, ran into traffic problems in the straight. What a great run, the last 100 metres to nail.
5 minutes. Is it just giving you that time just to sum it all up?
Oh, well, I had to go and get a bit of composure. I had to go and have a stiff drink, you know, to settle my nerves a little bit, but no, it's great.
You've been through this all before with the Cummings stable, but now yourself, your own team, Helena's winning this race.
Well, I think I've never been more nervous than when Let's Luck won the Caulfield Cup here, so, you know, I thought we had a good chance going into the race, and everything worked out great.
He's just improved. Got a feeling you're holding back the tears here, Leon. It's a very emotional moment for the Leon Corstens training career.
Oh, well, it's tough.
Well done, mate. Thanks. Leon Corstens joining us there, Brendan. He's very, very emotional, and so should he be too.
The horseman I mean, I knew he had great acceleration, so I was expecting him to quicken like he did.
The way he did that, though, he did it like the Bill stud. It was just one quick burst, and there he was, suddenly 2 or 3 in front.
That's the great thing about the horse. He's got a great turn of foot, and you're able to use it whenever the horse is ready to use it. So I sort of worked up to him on a turn, and I had him I was quietly confident I had him covered.
What about a derby distance, 2,500?
Yeah, no problem. I think he's actually bred to run a derby, so now obviously if Leon wants to head that way, he'll be very hard to beat.
Yeah.
He didn't have much luck. He ran into quite nasty interference there on the bend, and you know, I think it's cost him the race. He probably should have won.
Oh, it's fantastic to do what he done. He was very hot in the enclosure today and got round to the barriers, and he'd lost the plot of it before the race, you know, so I knew it was going to be on. He begun like an Oakley Plate horse and then continued to race that way, and you can't fight this horse. When he's single-minded like he was today, you've just got to go with him, and it just astounds me how he keeps kicking. I'm waiting for him to absolutely fall on the biggest heap at the furlong, but he just keeps kicking and kicking after what he's done early, and so I've no doubt he's one of the best 3-year-olds in the race, but he's so single-minded, this horse, and I believe it's got to do with the 2 things that are hanging down between his 2 back legs. Simple as that. Yeah, it was good.
All that. Well, I think the winner's a great horse. I love the way he stretches and flattens his neck out and hits the line. Obviously, Bellesprit, very, very unlucky. Like if that was Dettori or Jackie Che or Smokey Trelaw even, you'd be wanting to lynch him, but, you know, I don't know.
decided to ride for luck, getting the horse well back from the outset of the race with that early pace on. Now, therein lies another interesting issue.
Well, it wouldn't happen in Sydney.
Now, in Sydney, the stewards make an official announcement over the PA system of the racetrack. Today, blah, blah will be ridden back.
So what are you saying?
And that didn't occur yesterday, and nor does it in Victoria. So what I'm saying is that I think a few people had heart palpitations when they saw Bella Spree jag to the back of the field. It nearly paid off. It was.
So you think they should have had to announce those riding tactics?
I think it'd be a help.
Well, the punters don't mind it. You mightn't have a bet, Richard. I don't know. Do you have a bet?
That's crap. You don't want to
Do you
announce.
have a bet?
Of course I have a bet.
Oh, right.
Oh,
You
yeah.
don't want to announce your riding tactics. That's what you take tactical advantage out of the art of surprise. Aren't the owners and the trainer and the jockey entitled to that?
Well, Aren't the punters entitled to know too?
The punters
They're
bet
only
all
betting
in.
well over $1 million on the race.
Yeah,
Richard.
the punters know that luck and tactics play a big part. That's part of the art of being a punter, is trying to guess what the tactics will be. You can't just take all the variables out of racing, or you won't bet on it. You might as well just pull a lever.
Well, I know a few punters yesterday thinking, well, if he goes forward, I don't want to back him. If he goes back, I do want to back him. What's he going to do?
Well, have a go. Have a bet. That's why they set you odds.
Don't give me that owners, trainers.
What do you want to...
The gap that came for Platinum.
Strong. I've got to give credit to John Simons with Bella Spree. I was a doubter.
So was I.
That was his best performance ever yesterday, Bella Spree. I don't know what he's going to do with him now, but terrific training performance that. I've never seen one like it.
Titanic Jack carved him up twice in the race. He came out under his neck when Damien wanted to follow Helenas. That's where he wanted to go, right onto the back of Helenas, and he couldn't get there because Titanic Jack knocked him over. And then when he went back inside, because the horse was off balance and shifting back inside, he went with the horse. The gaps weren't there. He had to come across Titanic Jack's heels again. It was very unlucky. It would have been very interesting to finish. But luck's a fortune.
Luck's a fortune, and don't you forget the punter. Now, Keith, what do you got to say about all that?
My bookies, I'm happy to lay them.
Last year's Guineas winner Lonhro returns to the scene of a memorable win to face Sunline in the Yalumba Stakes. Jockey Darren Beedman fairly and squarely on notice after what the stable describes as a couple of questionable rides.
It's big stakes. He's insured for $10-12 million. He's a quality horse. He's going to stand at Woodland Stud next year for who knows what sort of amount of money, so the pressure's on.
Last start, Beedman deftly guided Lonhro into dead ends down the Randwick Straight. Tomorrow, there'll be no margin for error.
No matter what he does and how well he does it, you do actually have to handball the full responsibility over to the riders. So that's probably a negative on the trainer's side of things because, I'm sure if John Hawkes could ride, 58, he'd love to be out there riding Lonhro tomorrow.
Gerard Waitley.
Look, opened up very short on course.
Well, there is the ratings at Sunline ahead of Lonhro and Euston 5 from 2 and 3, and then number 6. Sunline, though, tote favourite, not the case on course, where Lonhro holds favouritism in betting ahead of Sunline. So it's due to go in 20.
Oh, I'm going with the Hawks. They are supremely confident today, the Hawks stable. They think that all he's got to do is stand up to win, Lonhro. And when they're that confident, I'll stick with them. But I've got enormous respect for Sunline. It's been the greatest mare I've ever seen. I'd love to see a win here again, but just think the Colt might have it on today.
Alf Matthews, this morning you went for Sunline.
By a length and a half, Distinctly Secret in the early stages. He found no trouble in setting up a good lead. Lonhro had got away well, and he's not going to let the great mare go forward too far from him. Beedman boots up to second now. Distinctly Secret settles third. Sunline heading out towards the 1,000 metre mark, leading by 2. Euston off second, 4 lengths away then is Lonhro. 5 lengths Distinctly Secret, 2 lengths Tally Thunder, and then Republic Lass with Prize Gem last of all. Sunline came to the 800 metres. The Queen of the Turf out by 2, Euston off, 2.5 to Lonhro, 4 lengths Distinctly Secret. And they were followed then by Tally Thunder, Prize Gem, and Republic Lass is on her outside. But Sunline coming to the 600 metres, doing it like the Sunline of old at the moment. Euston off a length and a half away. 2 to Lonhro. Beedman hasn't asked for the big one yet. And they've got away to Distinctly Secret. Sunline came to the turn by a length and a half. Excitement rippling around Caulfield now. The great mare's going to corner with a good lead on Lonhro. Sunline for home. Caulfield is erupting now. She's by 3. Lonhro's giving chase, but the great mare at the 200. Charles went for the whip. Lonhro's got some work to do now. Under the whip, he stretches hard. It's Sunline by a length. Lonhro trying to level up. A great battle. Sunline, Lonhro. Lonhro's getting to the great mare, and Lonhro beats Sunline by a neck. 4 lengths Euston off. Republic Lass, Prize Gem, Distinctly Secret, Tally Thunder. We've witnessed one of the great Yalumba Stakes. She might have been beaten, but she's been beaten by a chap in the making. Lonro.
Houston off that rider on the second horse, busy. Two then to Lonro. Beedman starting to move now. 4 lengths further back in the race, indistinctly secret. But the grand old lady's going to turn for home, Sunline. She's by 3 lengths and going for home. Lonro into second is starting to chase hard. Then Houston off at the 300-metre mark in Sunline. She's by 2.5. Lonro trying to pick her back is starting to come out after Sunline. Sunline a half in front. Lonro on the outside looming up. Lonro, Sunline, Lonro levelling up. Lonro a neck on the line. Sunline a mighty race. 5 lengths away, third Houston off. Then Republic Lass followed by Prize Gem.
Wonderful race, wasn't it? Quite often when we see these build-ups to 2-horse races, something comes up and turns them upside down, but that lived up to everything.
Oh, yeah, it was a great race. I mean, she's a great champion. He had to pull out all stops to beat her, and as I said, but, you know, we won. That's all you got to do anyway. But, you know, it was a good effort from, well, both horses.
I reckon Greg stepped on the gas over at about the 1,000-metre mark and just let the mare run along, but you were always on the bit, your bloke.
Yeah, we just, you know, just to bide our time. We weren't in a hurry to pick her up, you know, because, I mean, I knew she'd fight, but, you know, we just timed it to the right. And you've got to be in front on the winner post. No got to be in front at the furlong.
Congratulations on a magnificent win.
Thanks, Pete.
Yes, Darren Beeman. Gee, Darren, you're excited about this horse, but isn't he something to be excited about?
Yes, mate. He's a real glamour horse, and he put his act together today. Fantastic. And so did I.
Darren, you look at him and you ride him. Compare him with his father, Octagonal. Gee, they're twins, aren't they?
Yeah, he's a lovely horse. If he's a perfect specimen around as a horse, he's it. He's just got everything about him. He's a lovely horse.
You must be really proud of it.
Oh, I certainly was. She went a terrific race, and Lonro was, you know, one of those up-and-coming champions, so it's no disgrace to run second to him.
Did you think you were home at any stage?
Well, halfway down I thought that she might, but I knew that she was a little bit vulnerable because we're not quite 100% yet, so come Cox Place Day, we'll be ready.
Well, I reckon...
Today by Darren Beedman. He's made amends for anyone who thought he'd carved the horse up a couple of times, and today Lonro stood up and said, I am one of the great horses in Australia at the moment.
Doing off.
It's just great that, you know, he's really, you know, Sunline sets the benchmark for a lot of horses, and today it was a big question mark whether he get 2,000, and today really proved it because, you know, you look at the sectionals that she cut out. I think he run 1.9 something for the last 1,200, 46 something for 800, so you can run a strong 2,000.
Were you confident throughout the run?
Yeah, he gave me a beautiful ride, the horse. He just switched off lovely for me. I could have rode him on a piece of cotton, and Ustinov sort of, she skipped away on me a bit, and Ustinov was a bit of a traffic jam, but I didn't want to try and win it on the corner. That was a pre-race plan with John. He said, I don't want your winner on the corner, just switch him off and don't try and get her too early. So that's what I tried to do, and it come to pass, and he's a great horse.
It was a great race, Andrew.
You know now that...
I tell you what, I was sceptical earlier whether he'd stay at 2,000. Always concerned whether he'd drop the bit and relax enough. He did that yesterday. He's proved to me he is a genuine 2,000-metre horse in top company. And look, he had a hard run yesterday, Lonro. He had to do all he could do to catch that mare. She's had 20 runs like that. I wonder when they go to the Cox Plate into her house of pain, where she just loves it over there. It is her backyard. Whether the run may have taken a little bit out of Lonro, we won't know until we see him next week. Keith, what did you make of it?
Line might be just pushed aside, but she hasn't lost her Queen title yet, surely.
He's not the king yet, Ronnie.
I don't think he's the king of the turf yet, but I tell you what, he's got his hands on the crown, and he might just raise it on top of his head in the Cox Plate. But I have to say, she was better than she was in the George Main Stakes. She looked better. The long winter in New Zealand and the little setback she had after her first run took a little bit out of her. I reckon she's just about reaching a peak. I didn't think she could win the Cox Plate until yesterday.
The thing with Sunline is that she's been set for one race this preparation, and I think the McKees are just targeting the Cox Plate, and they'll get things right on the day. But Lonro, well, he beat a champion yesterday. You know, everyone's forgot about Defier. He's got the wood on Lonro, so don't let him get under your guard. Defier, he had no luck in the Epsom.
And we've also got to think of, is it Grandira still coming?
Grandira, he's a super horse. And yeah.
Yes.
What a race we're going to have. And what's going to happen? What are they going to do with Bella Spree? Are they going to run him in it?
Yeah. All right, it's time to hear from the beaten jock.
Lengths or more to the third place horse. The favoured pair just really distanced them. Look at the gap they're putting on their rivals now. Republic Lass, I spoke to Guy Walter after the race. He said she's not going well, but she's not going badly, so it's fingers crossed for him. But these are the pair that are going to be so competitive again in the Cox Plate. In the mix, I think how quickly we forget Northerly was overlooked in the list of contenders and his last year's winner. Greg Childs, interestingly, this morning said that the favourite
ratings from Royal Code, Scenic Peak and Chairman's Choice number 17, which is a bit of value on the tote by comparison with what they're betting on course. So 4 from 5, 8 and 17. Scenic Peak on course, well, it's good value on the tote. It's opened up as one of the chances. Shot of Thunder, who was placed in this race last year, now with young John O'Shea. It's right in the betting market and is a clear-cut equal second, in fact, a standout second elect in betting. Check over the page and you'll see Shot of Thunder at $7.90. No surprises to see it short in New South Wales. Station area here at Caulfield. Back with more. His first Group 1 winner from Lindsay Park.
Haven't you? You've worked, I think, with Bart Cummings and also the Gay Waterhouse.
And you're referring to Damien Oliver. Barrier number 2 it is. The first goes into line. Big field, great race. It's a Group 1 Toorak handicap. It's been won by some of the stars of racing. We go back to Golden Sword one many years ago. Poetic King winning for the Freedmans along with Marble Halls. Show up.
Pure Theatre didn't jump well. And one of the first out, Perno towards the inside. Shot of Thunder, Bush Padre away well. Umrum's going up quickly out wide, trying to sit on the speed with La Bella Dama driving through, and she goes to the front now. So La Bella Dama leads from Umrum in third placing. Out last of all, Umrum's taken over the running out to the 800 metres, and he leads by a length. La Bella Dama, Scenic Peak and Perno the fence, and then Weasel Will outside Shot of Thunder. Half a length away to Bush Padre, Chairman's Choice, Chattanooga, and then Prince Benbara. He's worse than midfield, the inside, followed by Society Bow, It's Platonic, and then Pure Theatre. Royal Code gave them about 10 before the turn. He's taking off now, and then Elegant Fashion, and last of all is Tyroline to the turn, and the dual winner of this race, Umrum, leads from Scenic Peak. In behind them, La Bella Dama. Perno trying to get away from the rails, then Weasel Will, Society Bow putting in a run down the outside, and then Bush Padre as they got to the 200. Scenic Peak race to the lead. Perno's getting a run through. Shot of Thunder sees daylight. He's coming hard, and then Society Bow and Weasel Will. It's now Scenic Peak tackled by Shot of Thunder. Umrum fighting back. Shot of Thunder grabbing the lead. Scenic Peak kicked. Scenic Peak or Shot of Thunder. Nothing in it there. Close for third also. Perno, Umrum and Chairman's Choice put in a big one wide out. And they were followed by Bush Padre. Society Bow saddle looks to have moved on it. The rider's gone over like the last of the straight backs. Then Weasel Will, Pure Theatre, It's Platonic, Royal Code. Chattanooga, Elegant Fashion back towards the tail with La Bella Dama.
Of the Toorak, and the leader Umrum from La Bella Dama and Scenic Peak. Perno sweating on a run. Shot of Thunder trying to get out. Weasel Will's got it in the pocket. The run comes for Perno. In the straight, Umrum in front of Scenic Peak. Perno pushing through in the middle. Shot of Thunder about to get into the clear down the outside. Then at the head of the others would have been Society Bow. Perno trying to poke through. Shot of Thunder pegging them back. Almost going down Society Bow. Shot of Thunder getting up to Scenic Peak. Umrum fighting back. They hit it. Oh, kicking back as Scenic Peak. It may have come back to beat Shot of Thunder. There's nothing in it. Perno Umrum the inside and flashing home. Chairman's Choice and a great finish. Bush Padre.
Judge still hasn't given his verdict. There it is. 11's won it. Shot of Thunder. Glenn Boss. Shot of Thunder's got there. Improving on his third last year on a soft track. He's just arrived. 11 Shot of Thunder first. 8 Scenic Peak has run second. Danny Nikolic. So his string of placings in this Group 1 race continues. Placed 3 times in the last 4 years now.
Young John O'Shea, who learned under the greats, Bart Cummings, and more recent times Gay Waterhouse, collects his first Group 1 winner. They crossed the line, and that photo was announced. Well, as we wait to catch up with the winners here.
Thanks, Faz. And, you know, it's just whether he could run him down. I was lucky that we got a cart into the race and he stuck his neck out the end.
We safe to walk in behind this horse or what, mate?
He's all right. Not a grey pony.
No, that's all right. I'm not a grey pony. Take us, did you think you'd won?
No, I thought I got beat. Thank you, champion. I thought I got beat, mate, but...
This injury, which we saw him on the show wearing the halo brace. There was a bit of a shuffle up in the straight here. You can see that Scenic Peak there in the yellow colours, laying all over Perno and Umrum. There was a protest after the race. One of the protests was upheld. It was a double protest. But you can see on the outside here, Shot of Thunder, after a beautiful ride, just had enough to knock off Scenic Peak, Umrum and Perno. It was a very good effort.
Should have won Scenic Peak. 3 deep, no cover. Did a terrific job, but nice ride by Bossy. Good decision by John O'Shea,
to stay away from the Epsom handicap and take him down to Melbourne for the tour yesterday, Keith.
Yes, look, Shot of Thunder, finally a photo went his way, and John O'Shea's only 33, so he's got a long career ahead, and it was launched yesterday with his first Group 1 win. The horse was brought to stand in stud at Queensland. Some interesting aspects of the race. Umrun, who got second on protest, that's him in front on the fence, and you'll see him squeezed up. You'll see him come out a little, but the horse, yes. Now, what's the one in the orange? He pig roots here. This is Craig Newitt aboard Society Bow. I think he loses an iron with his in that incident. He still finished 7th in the race, so that was a big run. But for Umrun, that was his 6th day at Caulfield on this day. He'd won the race twice before, and that was his 2nd minor placing. So he's an iron horse, and it was just one of the aspects that made yesterday's race so marvellous.
Just the Senny Peaked
old who can go on with it.
That was a sensational last 600 Chairman's Choice, fastest of the day, I think.
Well, that's how the race looked on as it turned out too. It looked a real on-paces race. You know, I think they must have got a rest in the middle stages. Royal Code. Now, I think David Hall's got something planned for him later on in the carnival. I don't think he's quite there yet. And
he looked a bit pretty in the yard.
Did he? Yeah, well, that's what I'd suspect. There's maybe a mile there somewhere along the track there.
Maybe the Emirates on the last
and
day.
he'll tune him right up for that.
Now the opening market for the big race at Caulfield, the Group 1000 guineas. It's 25 minutes away. Our ratings are with the Sydney fillies, Victory Vane, Royal Perler, Chuckle and Macedon Lady, 1, 2, 3 and 13. And here's a full market. Victory Vane will start from barrier 15, $4.90. Royal Perler 25, 10 for Chuckle, 20 Coupe, the 2 Antique, 5.40 Macedon Lady, 53 Bullabore Geese. It was won by Magical Miss, who beat Ha Ha in the last little bit. In previous years, all-time high, Shazoo, In a Flurry, and other top fillies that have won the 1,000 guineas include Dashing Eagle, Shame and Richfield Lady. And let's head to the track as they move in well. Here's Greg.
One of 3 in the race, trained by Tony McAvoy at big odds.
Singing the guineas. And Bullabore Easy, one of the first out. Macedon Lady looked a little slow. Presumed Innocent, Labella Dame, Coupe away fast with New Litra. Royal Perler's going up now. Victory Vane, Beasley snag back, and she is a clear last as they settle into stride. Coupe is the leader, settling down from Fuji Dancer, and she's being followed as they head towards the 1,000-metre mark then by Lash, who's a good way back on the inside of Just Fame, and then Antique. Second last, Victory Vane, and Cocktail Evening last of all. Past the 800 metres and Coupe in front. Royal Perler is second. New Lotra third outside. Labella Dame with a beautiful box seat trail. Bullabore Easy is next, and then Chuckle sliding forward from Villanova. Macedon Lady. Rare Insight going forward, wide out. Antiques following a home there. Then Presumed Innocent strung up on the inside of Fuji Dancer. Just Fame. Lester's third last, and then Cocktail Evening. Victory Vane's last on the fence. At the turn they race. Coupe's headed by Royal Perler, New Lotra. Labella Dame trying to get clear from Bullabore Easy as they corner. And then Villanova pulled out. Antique to the outside with Macedon Lady at the 200-metre mark now. And Labella Dame sprinted up to Royal Perler. Bullabore Easy running on down the outside. Macedon Lady's flying home. Labella Dame in front at the 100. Macedon Lady storming home on the outside. Macedon Lady flies at the line. They hit it. Macedon Lady on the outside. All Labella Dame couldn't split them. Lash flew home, I think, grabbed third. Fuji Dancer's up there from Bullabore Easy, Royal Perler, Victory Vane, Presumed Innocent, Villanova. Then Coupe, Antique, Chuckle, New Lotra, Rare Insight. Well back in the field is Just Fame and Cocktail Evening. Has she made it in time? She's flashed home. Oh, boy. She's got it. Macedon Lady's got there. Stephen King, twice a runner-up in the race, has taken his first 1,000 guineas, and John Simons, the elation, having been beaten into second place on Saturday with the Great Bella Spree, has turned out Macedon Lady on a limited...
Well, today too, congratulations.
Whoa, that makes it better.
Well, you've had a frustrating time in the Groups 1 with Bella Spree, but you've always had a great opinion of Macedon Lady.
Oh, exactly. You know, she worked brilliant here the other morning, and she's a very good filly, and probably straight towards the Oaks.
Slow out today, missed it a little bit, but Stephen King didn't panic.
Always going to get back. Probably the danger today was the race be too short for her.
Gee, she finished quick. Did you think she'd got there?
I was hoping.
Holding your breath. Holding your breath.
The luck hasn't been in, so we're holding their breath big time.
Wakeful next?
No.
No, straight onto the Oaks.
Don't know. Don't know.
May have another run.
May have.
To get on Macedon Lady today and win this nice race on her as a filly on the up, it's a great feeling.
Slow out today, but you allowed her to settle from that moment?
Yeah, I think she's got a lot of staying potential, this filly, so I wasn't too concerned when she got back a little bit. The only concern I had was when I straightened up, I could see a couple of quick and click and put a few lengths on me, so that was my only concern. But to the horse's credit, she dug deep and it was a great win.
Urged really hard.
One Caulfield Cup equal favourite Magical Miss is out of the race and may never run again. The Bart Cummings mare was withdrawn when a leg fracture was revealed after track work this morning. The news threw cup markets into chaos, with betting suspended for much of the day.
For 3 months, Magical Miss has strode round Flemington just after dawn, marching through the perfect Cups preparation. This morning's assignment, 2 laps of the Visco track. Exercise Bart Cummings had deemed the ideal tune-up for Saturday's Caulfield Cup. Instead, it would spell disaster. Regular track rider Joe Agresta noticing a fault in the mare's action in the concluding stages of the work. All clearly not well when the master trainer and his foreman descended from the tower.
She pulled up in training this morning and apparently she has suffered a small fracture in one of the small bones in the shin.
Magical Miss will have the leg pinned at Werribee Clinic tomorrow, sidelined for at least 6 months. The most exciting galloper in the Cummings stable for some time, the VRC Oaks winner has been at the top of cup markets since they opened. When Caulfield Cup betting resumed, Fields of Omar was a firm $4.25 favourites, ahead of Northerly at $5. Pentastic and Republic Lass also shortening significantly. Along with
Plate Day are the traditional lead-ups. Platinum Scissors has got the score on the board and rated very highly. I like Soprano though. I think she might improve, and I think she'll be
down towards the yard. They're rated 1 and 11 equal ahead of the 2 and 3. I can tell you, if you like, the 4 and the 5 hydrometer, it ain't here. They are equal 4th raters as well. And here they come. Platinum Scissors, regally related, a bit easy early on course.
And will reshape betting for the Victoria Derby. Make no bones about that. It's been a very strong
Away they
go. And the favourite Soprano by 3 JV, 3 Clang-a-Lang, a length and a half Bushfire. Ain't here 50 outside on the lime colours to Davidoff. Followed by Masquerado, Platinum Scissors coming on the outside of him. Then Dandyish and Sylvester, and last 2 lengths away Soprano. 700 left to go, and Hydrometer coming back to the field very quickly, and Clang-a-Lang straight up on the outside and took over the running. Then JV, and the saddle's gone on Clang-a-Lang, I think. That's why it's taken the front so far from home. Clang-a-Lang from Hydrometer. And then Masquerado. Round the outside comes Ain't Here, and Platinum Scissors, despite never being on the track, is running on. And they were clear to Soprano, and then Davidoff round the home turn now. And Ain't Here's bolted up on the outside on the joined Hydrometer. And Masquerado, next Platinum Scissors. Sylvester's making ground from well back at the 203 across the track, with Ain't Here just for the lead ahead of Hydrometer. Platinum Scissors is coming. Masquerado's battling as well. Platinum Scissors putting in a burst to get to Hydrometer, and Ain't Here. Platinum Scissors hit the lead. What a win. Platinum Scissors beat Hydrometer. Ain't Here third, and then came Davidoff and Sylvester. They were trailed closely by Masquerado Soprano. A long break.
Here has picked them up pretty quickly. Down the outside, Platinum Scissors, Davidoff and Sylvester behind those. It's Ain't Here moving up on the outside to get its head in front. Platinum Scissors still grinding away. Hydrometer coming back. Platinum Scissors on the outside, and Hydrometer. Platinum Scissors going home better. Great performance this. Platinum Scissors ahead on the line. Hydrometer ahead to Ain't Here third, followed for the back by Davidoff and Masquerado and Sylvester out wide. Then Soprano.
JV. Oh, how good is this? Oh, the Victoria Derby. I think we've got a new favourite, even though Helena's was impressive last week.
This was some sort of a run. Platinum Scissors over Hydrometer.
No, it wasn't, because turn of foot. He was back third last, and then boom, he was sixth, and then boom, he was third, and then boom, he was there. And that's him. Really exciting colt. I mean, I've never trained a better horse. He's really outstanding. And
that's a big rap guy.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he's a really outstanding horse. And the lovely thing about him is
he wins a lot of them. They run for him, and look, a sensational effort for that horse to travel wide and get home like that. I did see Davidoff climbing over his heels, though, in the last 200 metres, and perhaps if he'd got a clear run, Davidoff might have beaten him. But Davidoff meets him about 3 kilos worse in the Derby, so that's going to turn things around, Michael.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about the form. I heard Gay and Jim saying that, you know, he's their next future champion. That I'm not really sure with the Masquerado and the Soprano form coming from Sydney. I don't think that's all that hot at the moment. As I said, the winner did sit 3 wide. Davidoff didn't have a lot of luck in the run, so I'm just not really that sure about that race. But one thing about the pumper, he certainly can amaze you. Like sometimes you'd swear to God he's riding an absolute shocker and he gets him home. I think it's his stature more than anything else. He's got that affinity with the horses, and they just run for him because, you know, like...
Look, he's a good staying horse. He's drawn great. He's got no weight. It's a tough race like it always is, but from a good draw from there, you can see him getting a nice run, and he can stay. His record over 2-4 is very good. He won here last start, so...
It would mean a lot. I heard Wayne Hawkes talk to Andrew earlier about Flavour if he could win another one. He's just been a marvel at 9.
I think they're getting towards...
Assertive Lad won the jump on the inside. Prince Rubiton was away fast, and Sports got out in a hurry too. He's driving for the front. They're followed by Barcada, who began quickly. He's up to 3rd, settling on the outside of Prince Rubiton now. A length and 3 lengths to Salgado, settling last of all today. And his stablemates out in front. Sports the leader at the 800 by a length and a half. Assertive Lad 2nd. Barcada is 3rd. Prince Rubiton 4th the inside, and then came El Nino. A length to our Bull Bar. Flavour next, and then length and a half further back is Jai's Jump. Then Frere Jacques at the inside, trailed by Kennett, Fritz, and then Tarkula, Midnight Pomeroy. And Salgado's going to have one swooping run at them. Coming towards the turn, Assertive Lad, and moved up and put the pressure to Sports. 3 lengths Barcada. Prince Rubiton the inside, and then El Nino Flavour. To the outside comes Jai's Jump from our Bull Bar. Frere Jacques, Salgado still well back. Assertive Lad raced up, and he's gone to the lead now over Sports. Prince Rubiton and El Nino are the closers. And then Barcada battling in Flavour. Assertive Lad in front at the 100-metre mark. He's full of running by 3, El Nino, who's trying hard to level up. Assertive Lad in front. He's under the whip, he's tied, but he's home. Assertive Lad a nick to El Nino. 2.5 lengths to Prince Rubiton 3rd, and then Salgado running on, finishing pretty level with Flavour and Sports. The stablemates all across the line together from Tarkula, Midnight, and back.
And have a look at Salgado fly home to finish just behind them.
Yes, you have to say that the 2nd and 3rd horses...
I mean, this is a very, very good horse. He's just come right. Taken an age to get fit, you know.
Winner of the Doncaster and pays $16.
I know, well, people forget.
People do forget quickly. What's next for this horse now?
Well, I may back him up in the Waterford Crystal Mile and then take him on to the Emirates. The Emirates is his goal down here.
Platinum Scissors pulled up all right today?
Doncaster, so, you know, just remarkable to get him back in one piece and win it.
I can't say look flash in the yard. I've seen him look better in his life, and I thought coming off a 16-length defeat, he'd have no hope, but he's a great horse, and he just keeps producing those efforts, Keith.
Well, he does, and class really came to the fore at Caulfield yesterday. I don't know what sort of form he was in at Flemington Ridge. It was mystifying, wasn't it? But there's Assertive Lad. What a great job Gay Waterhouse, who completed a double with Assertive Lad yesterday, has done with Assertive Lad, because he was terrific as a 2-year-old. Then he went totally off the boil, looked gone beyond redemption, and she's brought him back to a prominent winner.
Melbourne, it hasn't been...
Pembleton 16. From 1 and 13, they're number 7. This Into the Night's very smart. It's out of a sister to Marwena in Jetball, a very fast horse.
Well, all the top 3 raters there are in the market. It's a very, very open race. About, you know, $6.50 would be about the favourite way in the ring. And there's probably 5 horses under $10 in the ring. So, you know, it's a very open race. Punters don't know which way to go.
Is clearly Ruben, those 2 horses. Intelligent Star, all clear racing. Belle d'Azur jumped okay. Rubitano got out fast, and also Suit was away well as they've jumped into stride now and through the first 100. Fair Embrace drives through on the inside, but Rubitano shows plenty of dash and he leads. Rubitano from Fair Embrace, Intelligent Star, Pembleton wide out into the night, Handy from Cosmic Strike. Just off them as slalom as they go past the 650. Then Strategic Image getting up on the inside. Empire is well back, followed by Planchet and Chong Tong. Belle d'Azur getting well back, followed then by Regal Shot. Calming and Zip Zip Array. Up to the turn now and going through. Fair Embrace went to a slender lead. Rubitano on its outside. Intelligent Star on the rail. They're clear to Pembleton. In behind them, Strategic Image looking for the way clear in the orange. Then Cosmic Strike and Into the Night's working home. Passing the 200, Rubitano sprinted up and took the lead. Intelligent Star tries to go with him. Then Pembleton and Into the Night, followed by Strategic Image, but Rubitano clear. Pembleton's coming home well. Rubitano under the whip with his big weight, too strong. Great win, Rubitano first. Intelligent Star kicked and grabbed second from Pembleton. Then Into the Night, and they're followed by Chong Tong running on fairly well on the outside, and then Slalom. Zip Zip Array made plenty of ground on the run home. Strategic Image, Cosmic Strike, Planchet Suit, and they were followed by Belle de Jour, Empire, Calming as well back in the field, and they're followed then by Fair Embrace, who weakened badly, and last Regal Shot. Great sprinter.
Just in front of Intelligent Star, the fence and result.
Excellent. That's Caulfield's 7th race. The next on the card, the Group 1 Caulfield Cup.
On the day, the horse, he looked absolutely a picture in the yard, Rubitano, so it was no surprise that he went out there and did the job. Michael, did you like anything else in the race?
Yeah, I thought Zip Zip Array's run was quite good, Rich. He was first up from a spell after winning the Goodwood Handicap last year. Damien rode him. He didn't have a lot of clear running in the straight, and he got to the line quite nicely late. And he's quite a promising horse. Intelligent Star had every chance. Greg Childs rode it beautifully up on the speed. It whacked away, but Brian Mayfield-Smith, I love him as a trainer. I think he's
Head of Hosanna and Gentle Genius, and then Susie Gray. 10 from 1 and 17, and then number 3. Hosanna is the on-course favourite ahead of Susie Gray, and outside of those, Heptonstall, which opened up equal on-course second elect, has eased slightly and is good value. Now down through the much longer odds on the tote, and outside of those there's a few like Sonachi, Shove Off.
2 and Gentle Genius away quickly with Heptonstall. Taimana's driving for the front early. Also away okay was Hosanna, but she's drifting back a little now. And as they settle, Taimana headed by Romano Star. Heptonstall's up there. Serious Drink whipping around them in the gold colours. Genius Lowry of a fair way back at the 800 on the inside of Gwendolyn, and then Susie Gray and Mystic Ella's last of all. Serious Drink is the leader. Up the side near the 600, 2 lengths Romano Star. Haste you back, a length and a half Taimana, and she's followed by Heptonstall, a length to Tribula. Back behind those horses then making ground is Sonachi in the pink colours, and then Reactive, Wyndham Special. Hosanna 8 or 9 from the leader, and then came Lowry's. Gentle Genius a long way back. Shovel's dropped out last. Susie Gray's pulled out to make her run. Romano Star and Serious Drink cornering in front. Taimana getting over their heels. Wider out, Haste you back, and then Sonachi. Heptonstall's running on, and Wyndham Special. Gentle Genius is weaving through past the 200. Here's Reactive coming up the middle of the course with a big run. Taimana Reactive. Gentle Genius is getting through. Reactive wide out in front of Taimana and Gentle Genius, and Reactive. Reactive by a half length. Gentle Genius, Taimana third. Hosanna ran on well, and then Wyndham Special, followed by Gwendolyn. Next in then was Romano Star, followed by Susie Gray, Larrier's Tribula. Back behind those then, Haste you back, Heptonstall.
They were making up ground, and now, late in the day, here's one coming from the back of the field and sweeping down the middle of the track. So, just probably means the track's very fair.
Okay, that wraps up
To dominate debate ahead of tomorrow's Caulfield Cup. While trainer Fred Kersley is downplaying the 6-year-old's chances, carrying 58 kilograms, his former jockey, Damien Oliver, today declared Northerly was weighted to win.
Rarely has good cause. Not since Ming Dynasty 22 years ago has 58 kilos been carried to victory in a Caulfield Cup.
People refer to the weights that horses carried in the past and were able to win, but in modern day racing I feel that once you get up around 58, or in Nordley's case a little more than 58, and he struggles.
Northerly is attempting to repeat the deeds of Tobin Bronze in 1967 by winning the Cup a season after Cox Plate glory. And while his rival Country, they're pinning their faith in the adage, weight stops a train.
If he can win this race with the weight, he's, I think, possibly in the same class as a horse like Rising Fast, and what a hell of a good horse he was.
But Northerly has a believer in Damien Oliver.
I rode Faithful Son with 58, and he was probably a little bit unlucky not to win. Doremus had 58 and 57.5, and he ran 4th and 2nd. I think Northerly's a better horse than all of those three, so I don't think he's badly off.
Oliver is plotting Northerly's demise aboard favourite Fields of Omar.
Each cup that I won on horses like Mannerism, Doremus and and Paris Lane. They were up-and-coming horses and in with nice weights. This horse is very much the same.
For trainer
Last Universal Prince and Fields of Omar, 9, 15, 2 and 5. Here's the latest check in betting. I can tell you overnight there's been good money Universal Prince. And Fields of Omar's right in the market. The other one there's been good support for is Beekeeper, which is over...
Beekeeper can produce his European form here. He's a better horse than these other horses, with the exception perhaps of Northerly, but he's getting so much weight from Northerly. He's never carried this lighter weight in his life, Beekeeper. This will be the lightest weight I think he's ever carried.
His big test today, the Northern Hemisphere performer. Iris O'Farrell is the manager for the broadcast box.
They're moving in. Fields of Omar was the first to go into the stalls for Damien Oliver, who's searching for a 5th win, a win that would equal the great Scobie Breesley, who won his last Caulfield Cup 50 years ago. Republic Lass has taken the inside gate. This stage, Glenn Boss keeping out of the saddle. Tally Thunder is set with Rain Go in the saddle now. And Sam Mason is going berserk, and he's got Dash for Cash very stirred up alongside him. They've got to take him out of the gates here, or he's just going reckless in the gates. Hale is standing up alongside him like nothing's happening. Sam Mason is a late scratching taken out at 4.11 on Vet's advice. The substitute is Northerly. Sam Mason, the late scratching taken out at 4.11 on Vet's advice. Betting announcement to follow the run. Racing. Northerly jumped well from a middle gate. So did the second mortgage and Freemason. Tally Thunder ridden up in the early stages. As they settle down, Fields of Omar's going forward outside Northerly. And handy on the outside too is Dash for Cash, so it's a great charge. Down past the judge, Dash for Cash outside Northerly. Tally Thunder showing speed. The three of them leading, turning out of the straight. Childs grabbed hold of Northerly and he's settled third now. The second mortgage, fourth the inside. Fields of Omar getting a beautiful trail right behind. 3 wide around, out by a length and a half. Northerly is second. Dash for Cash is now third on the inside. About a half a length away then on the outside is Helene Vitality. A length and a half the second mortgage. One Republic Lass and then a length and a half Fields of Omar. He's being followed by Distinctly Secret. 1.5 to Beekeeper, Freemason together. 2 Universal Prince, Rain Gauge, 2 to Hale, who's still out 3 wide from Pentastic and Grey Song, and then a length and a half to Prize Gem and Carpstead Way. Tally Thunder nears the 1,000 by 3. Northerly second. Dash for Cash third. Helene Vitality is in 4th placing. 2 lengths then to the second Mortgage Republic Lass. Freemason going forward as the pace has gone right out of the cup. Then Hale, and they're followed then by Distinctly Secret. Fields of Omar, they're packing up now. Next is Pentastic taking off with Carpstead Way. Beekeeper held up near the inside. 2 lengths to Rain Gauge and then Universal Prince, followed by Prize Gem, and ahead of it is Grey Song. Tally Thunder about to be joined at the 600 by Northerly. And Freemason's gone up third. A length and a half further back is Dash for Cash, the second mortgage running on. Then Helene Vitality. Here comes Fields of Omar from Hale and Republic Lass. Northerly has taken the lead coming around the turn. Freemason is with him. Wider out the second mortgage and Fields of Omar. And further back is Helene Vitality. Northerly down to the 200. Childs pulled the whip. He's the leader from Freemason. Fields of Omar's coming down the outside. And then came Republic Lass. Northerly in front with 100 metres to go. Fields of Omar, Republic Lass are closing. Northerly in front. Fields of Omar tries hard. Northerly beats Fields of Omar in a photo in a grand Caulfield Cup. Republic Lass or Distinctly Secret might have got third. And just behind those then was Freemason, Beekeeper, Grey Song, Helene Vitality, Prize Gem, Universal Prince and Tally Thunder. Pentastic followed further back by Rain Gauge, Hale, Carpstead Way, the second mortgage, and Dash for Cash. Northerly has won the Caulfield Cup. It's one of the great Caulfield Cups. Here was it.
The second mortgage is wide around in the track, a length and a half to Fields of Omar. Then Helene Vitality followed by Dash for Cash as they turn for home. Northerly's race to the front now from Freemason, the second mortgage. Down the middle now is Fields of Omar. Northerly up to 300 in front. Fields of Omar coming down the middle with Freemason. Then came Distinctly Secret followed by Republic Lass. Northerly the leader on the outside. Fields of Omar from Republic Lass. Northerly in front. Fields of Omar trying hard. Northerly's 1.5 next to Fields of Omar. Republic Lass has run third. They're followed by Distinctly Secret, then Freemason, then Beekeeper, further back Grey Song.
Caulfield, and they will bring the house down when this horse comes back. Cox Plate last year, Caulfield Cup today. What a great horse he is. To beat Fields of Omar, and Republic Lass. They've run 230.38. He is a super horse. 1980's the last time a horse has carried this weight to victory in a Caulfield Cup. That was Ming Dynasty 22 years ago. Greg Child, 6 starts, 6 rides for 6 wins on this horse.
Pretty much, yeah. Mrs. reckons I don't know what love is, but I tell you something, I love that horse.
You said before the race you wanted him out of trouble on the first turn. That's exactly where he was.
He rode him great. The horse responded. I'm sort of relieved and I'm thrilled. I'm just so proud of the horse.
Obviously he was going to go at the...
You're on Sunline, you're on Northerly. What else can you expect?
Yeah, look, it's a special time of the year. I've had a great association with Sunline and it ain't changing. And I've had 6 rides for 6 wins on Northerly. I'm a pretty lucky jockey to be riding 2 great horses.
On this horse, Tobin Bronze, Rising Fast, Tranquil Star, the other horses to run a Cox Plate and then gone on to win Caulfield Cup. There's been 11 in total have done the double, but only Tobin Bronze, Rising Fast and Tranquil Star, all great horses in their own right, have done what Northerly has done today. Only Sunline, Tie the Knot and Octagonal have won more money now than this horse in the history of Australasian racing. He's deep into the $5 million bracket. Next week, Paddy Payne rides him against Sunline, Lonhro, Grandira, Defy and maybe Bella Spree in the Cox Plate. What a horse, but what a race this Cox Plate is developing into. Have we ever seen a better race than this? This is going to be one of the great races.
It's a grand handicapper. He's a magnificent horse. You're sitting at home watching this horse, you're seeing one of the great race horses of our time. Any horse that can carry a weight like that and carry it the way he did, up with the leaders, taking the lead early and fighting off all the challenges, that's the way he likes to do it. He's just a prize fighter, this horse. Never, ever knows when he's beaten. Fields of Omar was a great runner. Getting away from this horse, he is a star.
Fourth has gone to number 16, Distinctly
Secret. But I tell you what, he's got the heart of a lion, that horse, the Coeur de Lion. You'll never see one that fights as hard as him. I don't think you'll see one again for a long time that fights as hard as this horse.
I think Greg Childs might have said...
With Tony, a great effort by Fields of Omar. I know you've been beaten, but did you very proud?
Saw 2 champions there today. Northerly is a known champion, and the next champion is our horse. He went out absolutely outstanding.
No doubt. Cox Plate, quick thought?
I'll know tomorrow.
All right, we'll follow that. We'll have it on retro.
The leader on the outside, Fields of Omar from Republic Lass. Northerly in front. Fields of Omar trying hard. Northerly's 1.5 neck to Fields of Omar. Republic Lass has run 3rd.
So close, Brian.
Yeah, so close.
So close. Beaten by a champion.
Yeah, you can't take anything away from him. 58 kilos, Cox Plate, Caulfield Cup. What a mighty horse he is, Northerly.
Do you feel like you've run a great race or been beaten?
Oh, yeah, so proud, Neil, so proud. So proud to get within the neck. I just want to be down there with the family and friends now. And
was it a tough call?
No, not really, no. I'd switch right off and I was quite happy with the way it flowed. I don't know how it sounded. I haven't heard the playback.
You'll switch back on now to being the part owner of Fields of Omar.
Yeah, I have. We got a good run. We got every chance. But, gee, let's applaud one of the greats of the turf, Northerly. What a daring ride by Charles to be up so close. And we were game in defeat. He hasn't let us down. We're very proud of him.
To go flashing past him too quickly because he likes a dogfight, and that was the plan, to go forward probably about the 700-metre mark and really, you know, so nothing could go past us quickly, make them work to get us, and nothing quite got to us.
6 out of 6 wins for you on Northerly and the big one capped it yesterday. Yep. As Joe said, 22 years since a horse carried 58 kilos to win the Cup.
Yeah, look, it was a special day for me because I hadn't won a Caulfield Cup, and it's a major race on the Australasian calendar. And
quickly, the horse at this stage will back up in the Cox Plate next week. Your horse has also been given an extra 2 kilos in the Melbourne Cup, up to 60. What's the reaction to that?
Thanks, Mr. Boulder. I'll make the decision not to run him a hell of a lot easier.
Yeah. So that would secure that?
Look, I'm speaking in haste and spur at the moment. I've just been told he's got 2 kilos. This horse runs on heart. I don't want to break it.
The plan was to run him in the Cox Plate after the Caulfield Cup. I think that's still the plan. I think Fred Kersley got an enormous thrill out of that yesterday. I know Northerly's won a stack of great races, including a Cox Plate and an Australian Cup, but To win a Caulfield Cup, part of the Australian culture, that and the Melbourne Cup, I think he got an enormous thrill out of that. Did you sense that, Greg?
Yeah, I did actually, Richard. You're right. Right, I think from the start, even though there was speculation, you know, when I said the horse will settle, he should run him in the Caulfield Cup, I think deep down Fred always had in mind to run him in the Caulfield Cup this year. I just helped confirm it, and he set him out to run over 2,400, carry 58. That was his mission, and Fred went out and did that with Northerly. I think it was a special moment for Fred, sure.
The pace was slower than you might have expected, and hence you went to the front.
And that's what we did, and that's the way it worked out.
Greg, your thoughts with Fields of Omar breathing down your neck as you went to the line. It was interesting to read today Damien's comment. It's one thing to get to Northerly, but another to get past him, and obviously that was the case yesterday.
Yeah, Northerly was actually in my sights at about the 200-metre mark. I could see a couple of horses out wider, and I did thought that something was going to blaze me because of the 58 we'd had. But Northerly loves a dog fight, and that's what he did. He dug deep and found again.
Without taking anything away from his run, which was enormous, Sand Mason coming out at the gates may have changed the face of the race, because the stable confirmed yesterday, to me at least, that Sand Mason was set to lead in the Cup and lead at pace. So it could have changed the face of the race, but luck's a fortune, isn't it?
Yeah, look, you know, we can talk about lots of different things, other horses, this and that, but at the end of the day, the race was there to be run and won, and Northerly won it.
Sure.
Greg, riding two champions in the one season, do you have to pinch yourself, mate?
Yeah, I'm the luckiest jockey at the moment at this carnival so far, but things can change, so you've got to stay focused and keep an eye on the ball. But the way that Sunline and Northerly have been racing, they've been going different paths, and it's been a great association with both of them. They're now coming to the bottleneck, to the head, and they're both going to run the Cox Plate next week, and along with Long Row and Grenadier, it's going to be one hell. It's going to be a big day, it's going to be a special day, but I know and I believe in the mare. She's right on song. She's ready to go out.
This is almost going to be the race of the century, surely, Greg. I mean, when you throw Defier, maybe Bella Spree, maybe Fields of Omar into the mix, Sunline's Swan Song, Northerly coming back, I don't think there's been a better set-up race. There could be the house full sign go up at Moonee Valley.
Yeah, I'm sure Fred Fox is rubbing his hands with anticipation. Breakfast with the Stars on Tuesday will probably be big. Be a race day.
Let's hear from the beaten jockeys, and we'll start off with Damien Oliver, who rode Fields of Omar.
He had a beautiful run, just couldn't quite get there.
You had a chance, probably at the 200. Greg saw you coming, but he is a true stayer and a true champion, Northerly.
Yeah, it's one thing getting to another than getting past him, but my horse ran his heart out and just couldn't quite get there.
Would you put him to the Cox Plate?
I'll leave that up to Tony. He knows the horse. He sees him every day. He'll know how to pull up.
Yeah, she just gave me all today. She certainly looked better today, and guys' information all the week that she'd done better, and it was certainly spot on, because she come out and certainly run a lot better race. I mean, like you said, I thought it was going to be different. Obviously, it's a different race. The tempo was pretty slow, and Northerly, whatever way you look at it, was just far too good. He's a great horse.
Just need a bit of luck on the top of the straight. Got a bit of a check, so that certainly didn't help. But in saying that, it was a very good run, and I think he's qualified now for the Cup, so he'll go for the McKinnon.
He ran a good race. He travelled nice in the run. He just got out the race in a bit when the pace slackened just about the 1,200 metre mark, and because I've gone a bit slower than I would have liked, I just let him slide forward, and he went forward. He showed a ton of cheek. He ran a good race.
Yeah, it was a good run, Andrew. He only began fairly out of the machines. I sort of was back a couple of groups than I wanted, but just a couple of stages of the race, lack of pace, it just sort of made it a little bit keen, but down the side he picked up, and in the straight was his best, and he was strong on the line.
I guess the big unknown in the race was Beekeeper. We hadn't seen him before. We wondered what he would do. He ran a creditable race. He got back in the field, Michael, and, you know, I don't think he was comfortable there, but he did run on well and finish officially sixth.
He did run on quite well, Rich, and as you said, he didn't have a lot of room in the straight either. Everywhere he went, he was sort of angled between two horses, and he really only got clear ground about the last 150 metres. Hit the line quite nicely. Probably the Melbourne Cup might be.
You can see him on the frame here. He's in the all blue, just starting to get between horses. He's just gone out of shot now. Only his last 50 metres, he really started to stretch out.
Yeah, he was always, as we all know, the English horses, they like plenty of racing room when they race overseas, and he really didn't have much room at all. I think the biggest stretches at Flemington, I should say, will help him greatly.
A slashing run by Distinctly Secret?
Yeah, it was a good effort, Distinctly Secret. It was there, had the good run. You know, look, I don't want to pour any sort of water on the winner's performance, but, you know, when Freemason was a length and a half off him 3 wide at the 600, and Freemason's a length and a half off him at the 50 metres, and, you know, it was a good grinding win. He carried the weight, did a great job, but, you know, I don't think Republic Glass is going as well as she was last time.
It was a great ride on Republic Glass, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Beautiful
she never
ride.
left the fence.
Yeah.
She saved plenty of ground. I just, you know, I think it was a good, tough win by the winner, but, you know, everything in their place. Republic Glass and Distinctly Secret, they got gapped in the Yalumba the other day by Lonhro and Sutherland. They got beat like 10 or 11 lengths. Yep. The weight changes on Saturday helped them get into the race. You know, I think it's a good form line for all those horses, just for, you know, Sunline, Lonhro and Northerly, but, you know, all honours with them.
Well, bookies in the Cox Plate have got Lonhro as favourite. They've got Sunline as the second favourite, and then Grandira and Northerly equal third favourites. So do you rate them that way?
No, I don't think so. I love Lonhro as a horse. I think he's a great try, but I think he'll probably run fourth in this. I think the others will beat him. I think, well, we all know I love Bella Spree. I think he's the one that they've all got to worry about. Some of the stuff that horse is capable of doing. If he puts it all together on the day, he could just run between the legs and give him a stitch.
We'll talk more on the Cox Plate later. You've got to talk about Universal.
Yeah, back to some of the runs in the race. Universal Prince.
Later. You've got to talk about Universal.
Yeah, back to some of the runs in the race. Universal Prince Keith was very disappointing yesterday, and I believe he may have run his last race due to unsoundness.
Yes, he was expected to run well. He was the medium of quite a big betting plunge, but he disappointed. He's just not going well at all. I mean, we've heard all of the beaten brigade, really, but all honours with Northerly. And the